Hello, welcome to the Arbitrary and Reductive RPG tier list. With me, your host, Joey, and I'm joined by... who? And you may remember Forte from our Pokemon and Fire Emblem discussions in the past. And so what we're going to be doing, a little tier list. A little tier list, guy. We have this right here. It's going to be kind of fun. Basically what we did was we pulled 15 games. Each of us pulled 15 games, seemingly at random, albeit a bit chaotically. And we're going to be trying to arbitrarily stack them against each other, but also analyzing where they might place in this tier list. So it's like a collective consciousness group think kind of thing. And it's going to be very loose, very fun. We are kind of breaking away from the retro week stuff that we're doing. And so we're just going to pick a random game on here. We're going to get started. We're going to talk about it. We're going to say why it's good, why it's bad. Some of these games I have not played. Some of these games Forte hasn't played. But there's no game that either of us have not played. So there will be some gaps, and that's part of the fun. Dude, just put a bunch of Neptunia games in there and I'm out. Hell yeah. So unfortunately, Forte is a mysterious creature, so you just have to look at my beautiful face here. And oh, the chat got fucked up. You hate to see it, brother. I don't know how that happened, but we're fixing it. Kind of fixed. What about on this one? Is this one fucked up too? Yeah, give me 1 second. I knew something was gonna happen. It's all Roller Coaster Tycoon. Roller Coaster Tycoon cursed my whole stream. Okay, and in addition though... Oh, they can't hear you. Oh, fuck. All right, hold up. So weird. Wait, say something again? Yo, is his audio coming through now? Not audible still. What the hell? Very weird because I did a test on that, and it was totally fine. No, Forte's so unreal. He's not even here. Nobody's able to hear it. So. What about now? Is this better?
Can y'all hear me now? Type Fortnite in the chat if you can hear me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we got some.
You know what I did?
We got some Fortnite gamers.
You know what I did? Absolutely nothing.
Yo,
I honestly did nothing. I muted it 3 times and went into properties and it fixed. Okay. Love to see it. Okay, sure. Why not, bro? Fucking why not? All right. How are the levels? Everything sounding okay? This is starting off chaotic, but that's okay. Yep. All right. If anything needs to be changed, just let me know. I can adjust on the fly. Anyway, and sorry, Raph. Joining us also is Raph.
Oh, am I here?
Hi. Yeah, you're here.
I'm not on the stream. I'm confused.
No, he's here to referee. So he basically, if we say something that like he's not cool with, he's just gonna. It's like a thumbs up or thumbs down. So he's here to.
Wait, am I audible too? Wait, hold up.
Can y'all hear Raph?
Oh, I hear myself. Okay, thank
you. Yeah, you're there. So if something doesn't fly with Raph, he's gonna let us know. He's gonna check us. He's gonna call us on our bullshit, and we're gonna sit our asses down and we're gonna listen. Okay, so we got referee. Raph, you talk as much or as little as you want. So it's up to you.
Cool. Shut up.
All right, so let's get going. Let me just check this right quick, making sure that that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna try to do a little B-roll thing, a little fun, a little goof, a little hoo-ha, a little like fun time, happy hour. I don't know. Forte, where do you want to start on this list? You get first dibs here, bud.
Ooh, so it's like, do I want to be mean to start, or do I want to
Mm.
like set the standards high?
And be you.
Um,
Let it be.
I think I want to be mean. Let's well, actually, this will probably be a pretty even discussion. Let's start with Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So how do we do this? Let's start with Chrono Trigger. Yes,
So,
Chrono Trigger
that's a
is
C, I think.
right here. No,
Yeah, Chrono Trigger is strongly like top of C tier for me.
for you. Hmm.
Yeah, so my take on this game is it's like, what if Naughty Dog made a JRPG on the Super Nintendo? Um, they hit you with all the pretty colors, and the soundtrack kind of is insanely good. Um, and then I don't give a shit about anything else this game does. Like literally anything else. Yeah, it's like linear plus cringe plus ratio. Um, that's my take on Chrono Trigger. Everybody's like one of the most beloved games of all time. So for whatever it's worth.
Uh, wow. I mean, okay, so here we're gonna cut to this so you guys get to watch some Chrono Trigger. I think that is a. I understand the Naughty Dog thing. That actually. Oh, thank you for the follow, Yules. I actually do understand that. Is that what it says? Or Yui's? Yeah, sorry, dude. My eyes are so bad. You don't understand. I really struggle. I have my font set to like giant. It's jumbo, and I still can't see shit. So here I am. But anyway, no, I get it. It's sort of like basic bitch the RPG. The texts are really cool. Though, I mean, it's nothing like profoundly new, but they're intuitive in a way that I don't think a lot of RPGs at the time were. I don't. Hmm? So yeah, because what they tried to do is they tried to do like a there's a lot of encounters that are forced, and wait, what? Dude, what is dude, nothing has changed. Like literally nothing has changed. What the hell? Oh my god. It's called bugger. Yeah. Dude, I legitimately do not know what is causing this. So hold on. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think of what could even be causing this. Is it because Discord is not No. No, no, no. Let me try removing the source again. Oh, dude.
If you can hear me, type Fortnite. Please type Fortnite in the chat.
Or is everyone here Alan Fortnite?
Oh, I can hear myself. Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Weird. All right. So I don't fucking know, dude. There's nothing that changed.
My audio levels are borked too. Am I quiet on stream?
You sound good in the call.
Yeah, you're at 200% also in the call. This is lovely.
Gotcha.
I'm on Mac this time, you cannot touch me here. Yeah, but Chrono Trigger. So a lot of this hype around this game, I feel, is more about its staff than the actual game itself. They're like
Yeah.
Yuji Horii, Akira Toriyama, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, Akira Toriyama does cool stuff for Dragon Quest, but not my favorite RPG artist by a long shot. And Dragon Quest is killing it back in the day, but also I don't think the Dragon Quest games are the most interesting Super Famicom RPGs. So
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of Zoomer contrarianism with Chrono Trigger too. And
yeah,
I'm not saying that that's necessarily true of you, but like there is definitely like a sort of like, oh, it's not that good. It's like how do I describe it? People saying that like Hitchcock wasn't good, or like, oh, Hitchcock was just hammy or whatever. It's like, yeah, but like, I mean, there's still a syntax and a grammar that he refined and made bigger and whatever.
Yeah.
And this, and like, you can't just let influence be the guiding light, because like influence isn't always equal quality, and obviously art is subjective, but there is kind of like a weird like revisionist take. I don't know if it's contrarianism or what it is, contrarian trigger about it, that I'm like the game is just like a fun game. It wasn't trying to be like this like grandiose, like, well, it kind of sort of was, I guess, but it wasn't trying to be like the end all be all RPG that I think a lot of people talk about. And when people talk about that dream team, they're just talking about like the big the big creatives, right? And but this would be like seeing Sony and Microsoft, or Sony and Nintendo, do a collaborative project now that's not just like a mobile game or something like that. Like, oh, we're bringing in Mario to be on Dragalia Lost or something like that. This was a huge thing to have seen back then.
I get like the cultural significance of Chrono Trigger, and like we'll talk about it later when we get to Radiant Historia, but like not all of its designisms are like purely bad ideas. And also, like, I don't think anybody can take away from this game that it's like immaculately presented. It looks and sounds like beyond impeccable. But it's just like, for as much as there's a Zoomer contrarianism about it, I think there's a Boomer. There's like they ain't made a game since Chrono Trigger, and it's like
100%. And that's what I was gonna weigh that criticism with, is that like there's also like the bespectacled 90s kid in this. I said this earlier, but 30s YouTuber guy who's like, Chrono Trigger, they just don't make them like they used to. And I remember in the 90s, you had to blow on your cartridges. And then, like his profile picture is like a picture with like 3 NES controllers around his head or something. And like, that's dude. Just, it's so fucking hilarious. Like, so much of the criticism of this game, like positive and negative, is like hilariously trite. But I don't think it's like I don't think it's invalid. I just think that like the zeitgeist around Chrono Trigger sucks,
Yeah, like, I guess to be a little positive on the game, it is an action movie, and it's very aware that it's an action movie. It doesn't have like pretensions of being like something a lot deeper than it is. And it gets a great strength of it that everyone has pointed out at this point is that it's only like 15 to 20 hours long, somewhere in that range. So it doesn't overstay the welcome, and that's probably a good choice for how good, like, its presentation doesn't get old in that time either. But I don't think it plays to any of the particular strengths or things I value in JRPGs as much as it's like, like a very well crafted, high effort thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I made the Naughty Dog comparison. Is like, I don't really care about The Last of Us 2. I liked the first game, but like, yeah, I can really appreciate the amount of work and effort and ideas that went into the game, even if I don't really care about it,
Yeah, and like, full disclosure, I would put this, let's see, hopefully this doesn't fuck with the audio. Real quick, say Fortnite again. See if that fucks with anything.
Fortnite.
Oh.
Y'all still hear him? Making sure that something doesn't explode again. Okay, he says Fortnite, so you're good.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so real quick, let's go back to here. Personally, this is honestly this is probably in my top 10. So just for the sake of
yikes,
collaboration, this is getting bumped up 1 point.
No, like I said, it was top of C for me. So like, if someone puts it in B tier, I don't argue with them. But I just kind of like, I'm like, I see you.
Right. And like, personally, I wouldn't say it's like completely S tier, but I think that like for the experience and like, it's very, this is a very emotional game, I think too, because the You said the presentation, the visuals, like there's nothing I'm going to say about that hasn't been echoed by the same type of person I was making fun of, and also am in the same kind of demographic of. But that being said, I think that like the experience itself is so like breezy and like just I almost, not that accessible, like just easy to get into is a good thing, but it's it's difficult.
It's broadly appealing,
right? Yeah, it's so inoffensive, and I feel like it's not so boringly inoffensive that it is a Naughty Dog game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would kind of agree, but I think also JRPG fans in particular are weirdly hard on Naughty Dog-esque games.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is a Naughty Dog game.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, that's actually.
But it's all my hot take might be it's good, but it's not on this list, so I won't.
Remake is good. I agree. So all right, let's move on to the next one. That was a lot of time spent on Chrono Trigger.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Joey, you dislike Ocarina but like Chrono Trigger.
I don't dislike Ocarina.
Ooh,
I just think it's Ocarina of fine.
Yeah, but like Chrono Trigger is the Ocarina of JRPG.
No, dude.
Just remember that.
No. Chrono Trigger is a lot smoother, bro. Come on. I get where you're coming from, but no. God damn it. See what you did, Forte? You opened this up. You opened this up to Chrono Trigger. This doesn't seem like ref behavior. This seems like RAF behavior.
I'm the referee. What do you? This is what you told me to do.
Okay, so
it would probably make more sense for us to like swap picking, but there's a game on this list that I feel
go
like.
For it.
Radiant Historia is Chrono
okay.
2 Trigger, more than Chrono Cross was. So I feel like it's the obvious pick. Also, curse you for using the 3DS box art.
Oh, you know what? Because I tried to keep it even, and then I realized that that there were a lot of 3DS games on here. But so I fucked up.
Yeah. So Chrono Trigger, Radiant Historia for me is like Chrono Trigger but based. Cause it's also like a cringe. Wait, hold on, I can't speak. Cringe linear ratio. Time travel RPG. But this one has Atlas storytelling instead of Super Nintendo Squeenix storytelling. Obviously, Squeenix was not Squeenix in the Super Nintendo era, but so it has a lot more to say in its runtime, which, while short for RPGs, is long for video games. You know. Also, I think the characters are also just like they have more substance to them. You know, they're not Akira Toriyama characters; they're Atlas characters.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if because I'm not a huge Toriyama fan, to be honest. Like, I'm not like, I think that the iconic designs are iconic and whatever, but like, I'm not like foaming at the mouth at the Akira Toriyama designs. I think it works really well for like Frog and Robo, but some of the human ones just look chunky or whatever. But I don't know if I'd agree with that about like this having more. There's definitely. How do I describe? There's a more emotional look in characters like Stock for sure than Chrono. It feels more authentic, right? But I feel like part of that is also like at odds with some of its visual elements. Like I don't know, like especially because I've only played the DS version. Does the 3DS version have different like?
So the 3DS
assets?
version literally just changes the portraits and adds voice acting.
Okay.
Also, one of the best dubs I've ever heard in a JRPG, but Xander Mobus is fantastic as Stock. But them changing the portraits kills it for me. So ratio.
But are they DLC?
You can pay to get the original portraits in some menus, but not all.
Okay, interesting. That's so weird. But yeah, no, I really like this game. I haven't played it since it came out, and I really have been itching to replay this. I remember I had something to do when this came out, and so I tried to beat it really fast. And there's a lot of this game that like I just don't really remember. Like I remember I remember the combat not being like particularly great, but I feel like I don't know, that's kind of the
I'll
same
actually
issue.
So like it's one of those combat systems I like in theory more than I like in practice because it's got the whole positioning combo-y turn swappy elements to it. But every enemy takes way too much fucking damage. And the game's difficulty, I guess partially because they
Yeah.
expect you to be bouncing between these two major stories, um, kind of is all over the place. And so yeah, I don't actually like this game's gameplay very much, but also I'm not like huge on Chrono Trigger's gameplay or something, you know.
Yeah, yeah. We know.
I feel like it's above what a normal JRPG, like the typical like a Dragon Quest combat system or something, but like or early Dragon Quest that is, but it's not like reaching the stratosphere of something like better than that.
Yeah, it has like mechanics that make sense. It just that I feel like it has this like that really sort of elongated battle time that a lot of these DS
Yes.
RPGs had, and I don't know if Perfect Chronology fit that. So, but yeah, so
Perfect. You can think of Perfect Chronology as the same Atlas re-release you've played
Strange Journey.
3,000 times.
Is it akin to Strange Journey 3DS?
It makes even less changes than that.
Oh wow, okay. Well, that interesting. Okay. Anything else you want to say about this before we move on to the next? Because I don't really have that much to say about it right now because it's been so long since I've played this.
I think making linear RPGs, because both of these games are linear, is kind of why I thought of both of them together. Like very linear.
And they
I could have
function.
put
It makes sense.
I could have put Final Fantasy 13 on here, but Lamau. I think if you're making a linear RPG, I feel like you've got to complicate it in ways that make you more sympathetic to the cast. Because I don't think a lot of typical JRPG mechanics substantiate like that linear playthrough very well.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think like okay, so just going back to Chrono Trigger a little bit because I would say Radiant Historia is more linear than Chrono Trigger because Chrono Trigger has moments where it does actually open up, and like, I think Radiant Historia does a better job with its pace in that regard in terms of like mechanics. Maybe not story pacing because I think story pacing in Chrono Trigger is ace, man. Like and again, this is nothing that no one's heard, and I'm bringing this up because it's comparative. But like the overall thematic pacing of Radiant Historia is definitely higher, and it like it makes you feel those notes on a deeper level. It's a crescendo versus like a song and a pop song. Let's go with that.
For me, Radiant Historia is A tier, but
I'll give you this one. I'll put it over Chrono Trigger in B.
Got you.
It's really good though. Like in terms of RPGs, this would probably be an A tier RPG, but we're keeping this arbitrary and reductive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let me pick.
If it's arbitrary, put it in the arbitrary tier up in A, please.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, we could do that. So talking a little bit about Atlas games, let's pull SMT2.
I love this game.
So SMT2, I actually like this more than SMT1. I think that this is the better.
That's a very hot take.
Yeah, well, okay, SMT1 has a better like vibe, right? Probably better music.
Definitely.
But I think that this is like the storytelling in this game is it was starting to really get different from the source material and like the original source concepts too.
Yeah.
And this is like Atlas like delving into their thing, but there's the mid section of this game infuriates me. Fucking infuriate. And you know what? No. I'm sorry. Like,
that's so true.
If you played this game after the year like 2006 for the first time, fuck you, because this is such a different experience, bro. There's a reason why these games never came to the US. I'm telling you right now. Like, and I fucking love SMT too, don't get me wrong. But like, no, there is. We talked about revisionist history, some Radiant Historia shit in the JRPG like discourse. SMT is, I swear to God, bro. Persona 4 Golden came out, and now all of a sudden everyone was just sucking on this brand's dick, and because everybody, that generation, was starting to become starting to get pubes, and starting to play other stuff, and so like. I don't know. There's like this weird thing about it's the greatest. Like the Super Famicom SMT games are so fucking like amazing, top tier gameplay. But then people shit on Dragon Quest 3. It's like, bro, you're pressing A the same amount of times. Like there's not that much. There's really not that. Not that there isn't a lot of notable differences, and one game isn't way more mechanically deeper. This SMT is definitely mechanically deeper. But you're talking about getting frustrated with RNG. Going through the motions, all that shit is like so prevalent in SMT2, especially when you got to go through that backtracking section where you just have to find random fucking tiles in the ground, like it. And I just I replayed this with a guide, right?
Yeah.
And it was so much better with the guide.
The guides for SMT2 also suck, but they still alleviate so much pain.
Yeah, and it's like I usually like boomer JRPGs now. Like I've played a lot of the big ones, so usually when I go back, I play something with a guide just because I've done it before. I put in my fucking time, you know.
You earned your stripes.
I earned my stripes, and so that stuff like really irritates me, and it still baffles me that like people a lot of people in the SMT community are like between the ages of like 18 and 24, 26 maybe we'll say, and there's a lot of like weird jockeying about this game that like I don't think those opinions are going to be held steadfast. That's the Chrono Trigger is the GOAT opinion of that generation, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So hit me with it. Hit me with your SMT.
So this game plays like dookie dog shit. It is easily the worst playing mainline game in the series.
What?
But it's also like maybe my favorite mainline SMT.
Dude, what?
Yeah, so the overworld is split into 3 here, and the entire center like overworld, the one where you're underground but not in hell yet. Absolute like nightmare dumpster fire of dungeon design, of overworld design, of narrative design. Like everything there is going wrong. There's one of my favorites is there's a dungeon, I believe it has something to do with the Amatsukami, where you can go you can like take a step to the right, and if you turn around back to look at your left, there will just be a wall there now, and that's not notated anywhere on your map.
Yep.
Fuck getting through that with a guide, let alone without a guide. There's so many backtracking for the pillars, but also I think this might be the singular coolest video game setting of all time.
Dude, it's raw. Raw is the only way I could describe it. It's bleak. Like it's so good.
Like going through what essentially looks like the back rooms. To get to under the flooded city of Tokyo where all the demons have infested towns like Ikebukuro and stuff. Just like insanely raw. And then going through the back door to hell and meeting Lucifer in a bar, and he like kicks you out and tells you to come through the cool way next time. Like everything about this game setting is fucked and amazing, and I adore it. Also like I trash on like SNES RPG writing a lot. And this game definitely has like a lot of it where characters are way too brief about some things, but also has like maybe the best set of endings in a mainline SMT. There's a lot of cool like I guess it's kind of like low key stuff about this game's writing that I think is really appreciable. The translation is also way better than the SMT1 Aeon Genesis patch.
Yeah, that's true. So I think people like to do what I like to call the anime excuse. When a character design is so raw, they attribute a lot more depth to their writing.
Yeah.
Which happens so much with Atlas. I'm sorry. There's like there's so little nuance to Atlas RPG writing until like 2000. You know, like don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, SMT
Nocturne
one
is the game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like.
Actually, Nocturne would probably be the big turn. Or you know what? I'd even venture to say Persona One. But
Yeah, that's fair.
uh, but SMT One has a lot of moments like that, and this game has a lot of that too. I think this, out of any SMT game or Megaton game in general, I think this has the fucking coolest like journey. It's so sick.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not an SMT5 hater on your level. No one can compete to that. But I will say that, you know, SMT5 could have easily just ripped this game off and it would have been fine.
Well, so it's funny because 4 Apocalypse ripped this game off, and it's only outdone by 5 in its mediocrity. So,
all right. So, real quick, were we putting this right here? I think this is a pretty decent, like right by Chrono Trigger, right?
yeah. So this is like Final Fantasy 15 for me. It's like my heart. It's like S plus, but like practically the experience of playing it is not great. So
Yeah,
I'm cool with this.
And have a weird take too. I'm just gonna drop this. I think If has the best gameplay of the Super Famicom games. Anyway,
Okay, you're spitting, but World of Sloth.
yeah, yeah, fair, very, very fair. But and it did actually make a bunch of innovations on SMT1's battle system that got carried into Kyaku, so that's cool. But
Yeah.
SMT4. So I haven't played this really. I played the first hour or two, maybe even less.
That's so crazy.
And this dude, okay, I've played almost every Mega 10 game. Like I've played a fucking this one.
You're the person who could get the most out of this with that kind of background.
I know, I'm saving it, man. It's like when you're saving the ice cream in the fridge and or the freezer, and I'm worried that it's freezer burn. Especially, did playing SMT5 freezer burn SMT4 for me?
That's so funny. Yeah, so this game, I'm just gonna come out and say it's like maybe my favorite game of all time. So it's definitely an S tier choice for me.
Okay.
I don't want to talk too much about it narratively because that's spoilers. But it's the first game that Atlas like mucho textoed with in mainline. Actually, it's really the only one besides 4 Apocalypse. And they somehow nailed it. You know, like games like 5 have like a much sparser script in it. And so I was kind of worried going into it because like I love writing in like Persona 3, for example. But if an SMT was written like Persona 3, I'd hate it.
Yeah,
which is maybe unfair of me. But
no, it's a sub series for a reason, or spin-off
this game
for a reason.
has like every aspect of it is way more considered than a lot of boomers in the fan base seem to realize. It's narrative. It also is like the only JRPG I think I've ever played that actually like has thoroughly considered like the process of achieving an ending in a video game intentionally. And I don't want to explain more than that.
Oh no, that's
like,
good. That's a good vagueness to it.
Yeah, this game rips. It's insanely fast paced, insanely well presented. Maybe the best looking 3DS game. Yeah, I love this game.
That was my big question for it because I don't have a lot of patience with even 3DS games anymore. Like, it's just I'm just coming to the point where I'm like emulating everything now, and like using fast forward. You know, like there's just so much bloat. This stuff like animations taking forever. If you can't turn off animations, like it bothers me. If text like scrolls too slow, the ADHD kicks in. I mean, I make excuses for that all the time. I'm playing Valkyrie Profile right now, the remaster.
Oh yeah, that game's a little slow.
So a little, yeah. And I played it in an emulator recently, and I was like, I enjoy it so much more when I can skip through the battles more easily. But like, yeah, no, I mean, this game is beautiful looking. I love the art style. I love. I'm not sure how we feel about those DLC practices, right?
Yeah, Atlas more like Fatless, Ratio, Cringe, Bad Company. But the game is still cool.
What's something about this that you don't think I would like?
So the character writing is generally the most immediately like controversial thing about the game. But there's so many criticisms about this game that I think people are just wrong about. But so it's hard for me to pick one that like, oh, that you might think this. I'm like, nah, he's smarter than that.
Oh, I
But
appreciate that.
I will say, if you play through this game your first time using a guide to get a specific ending, it will definitely be a worse experience.
Okay, so you want to keep it as blind as possible, then?
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's fair.
The neutral ending is kind of famously like the best ending. So everyone plays through with that expectation. I think they think way worse of the game for it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's good to know. That's actually a really big. I like to go into things as blindly as possible. And that's one of the things though that I'm like, yes, thank you, because that's super helpful. It's definitely helpful. Yeah, cool. I one day you and I will talk about this game at depth. I promise you, because I really want to play it, and I will. And I'm really stoked to do it, but I have to save something, man. My Scrimblow needs some time.
Yes.
So yeah, let's go back to the tier list. Let's.
S rank.
Yeah, we'll just put
rank.
it there.
That's right.
Thank you, Ref. Ref's here.
Wait, what were we barking about in the chat? Did I miss something?
Oh my god, Rio just decking me, man, putting me in the Tartarus. Also, chat, please let me know, man. Tell me why you think I would like SMT4, why everyone would like SMT4. Just fucking go off while we talk about.
Oh, it's really good. It's got pacing.
It's so true.
Thanks, Game
And
Facts.
is like the Dark Souls of the Persona next game.
All right. Anyway, the Persona. While we're on this SMT thing, I'm putting Persona. I'm sorry. I'm putting Persona here. I fucking love Persona.
Okay, veto. No.
No.
Talk
Hold
about
on.
it first.
Let man speak.
Okay, hold on. This is complicated because.
Wait, which version are we talking about?
PSP with the original audio.
Okay.
I guess I kind of like some of the PS1 presentation more, but it is 100 times clunkier.
It is. Like, I like the menus more. The aesthetic just fits because it's more SMT than it was like this bubbly image for sure. But like it's complicated for me because so maybe I just have a even more arbitrary and reductive, stupid, idiotic way of thinking of things. But games that offer different versions, like a multitude of different styles, usually make me appreciate aspects of the game more, even if I don't like that version more as a whole. When
That's
I talk
cool
about Saga, was that?
That's a cool way to think about it. I am the opposite generally.
Yeah, and I used to be like that too. I used to be fucking old head about it, like just annoying about it. Not saying that you are, but like,
I am.
but like I used to be very fatalistic, and so like Saga Frontier is a really good example of that, and we'll talk about that later. But a remaster or re-release changes things about it, and Persona to me, its biggest issue is its speed. It takes so long. It's clunky. Little things just it's whatever. There's a lot of things that aren't really explained. The leveling system is kind of weird. But bro, think about what this game is a fucking vibe, man. Everything about this game is atmospheric, it's dark, it's weird, it's like it was starting to show aspects of culture that weren't shown in video games like at all. It was like it had its finger on the pulse of mainstream. It was starting to like push the anime shit forward more. Like the music is fucking unreal, and not talking about the later Mega
the PSP OST.
Yeah, which is to me it's not awful in a vacuum.
It's just like the B-sides of a modern Persona game.
Right, and it's like it's actually really yeah. It's like the compilation album B-sides basically. But like so
this game is like mechanically like vacuous. Like there's 100 subsystems in this game I know nothing about. But the value of that ends up being for me that like it gives this game this like way more cryptic feel. And the aesthetics, obviously Kazuma Kaneko's a legend. Atlus, anybody who does music for Atlus tends to be a legend. And so this game kills on that. Also think the character writing for as like 90s dubbed anime as it can be sometimes is really good. Maki especially is like maybe still the
Mhm.
best written Persona character. Um, and obviously no other Persona character has a whole game written about their mental damage, but yeah, I really like this game. I think it's underappreciated because people have to play the PSP version.
Yeah, and it's also like, you know, the logistics of this game were so bad. Like there's a loading screen. Here you go. And by the way, I played this game when it came out. And
Oh, that's insane. Dude, I wish I was you.
I told you my first Mega 10 game was actually Jack Bros. Funny enough.
Yeah, insane.
But like, and I didn't understand what the fuck I was doing. It wasn't until Nocturne came out that I went back and I played through the whole thing and like actually did. I mean, you only have the one ending on the US version, but yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of really cool. The game is very easy though. It could be like weirdly esoteric, and the last boss can fuck you, but like it's like weirdly easy. But you can see that that's what they were trying to do since Devil Summoner,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like they were trying to push a more narrative, single player, like accessible experience. Which is funny because if you look at Atlas games now, it's so wild the way that
This game is so inaccessible at times that like the PSP version is still clunky and a mess, kind of.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's really not as big of a difference. It's mostly all like little like under the hood stuff that changes and like the stupid aesthetic changes. Because like, look at this UI. That's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah,
The text
yeah, yeah.
boxes. Let's go to these text boxes here. Like that green background. It's awesome, man. I like look at this is a problem. This is the exact problem. Do you see this shit? This is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
problem. Mark is the problem with this
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
Ooh, like a lot of really horrendous cultural shit that happened with this game's translation. That, ooh, man, they literally whitewashed him too, bro. Like they like they blackfaced a character and then whitewashed a character. Like, what the fuck?
They whitewashed like several characters. Like
The whole game,
this game-
Lunar Veil.
dude,
It's
Lunar
Archie
Veil
Comics.
Lunar Veil as opposed to Mikage Cho is so hype.
But I do
That's so funny.
I do want to say because Raf did have a veto. What?
Okay, so it's confusing because you had the PSP logo up there, you know.
It's just easier to see. What can I say?
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
you don't
the-
have the version where Mark sucked all the melanin out of everyone else and then just hoarded it for himself.
Yeah, yeah.
The diva system sucks the melanin out of the people of Lunar Veil. And
Yep.
That's the lore. Yeah, just put it where you want. It's not my stream. I can't hurt you.
No. But it's a anchoring criticism. It helps. That's the point of the analysis.
Oh,
So
well, you're
to-
just always wrong. So
Oh, okay, that's fair. So then it goes
so
into
you-
to C.
So you're thinking top of A.
I'm thinking. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, okay, because I was about, I was thinking like, man, SMT2. Those are funny games to draw comparisons between. Yeah, let's leave it here. Actually,
Okay, there's an A in Persona. That makes sense, right?
yeah,
Okay. Next, let me grab this one actually, if you don't mind.
yeah, go for it.
Let's switch it up, and talk about like horrendously switch it up. Let's go to Pandora's Tower.
Oh yes, absolutely. Also, I think we should make this a Venn diagram afterwards, and I know what axis to
God, man.
divide it upon.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. So you played this, right?
Yeah, I love this game. This game was kind of on here. What the fuck is a JRPG, Joey?
I don't know. I'm not getting into this discussion.
Well, so this game is famously one of those Operation Rainfall games.
Yeah.
And maybe because of that and the fact that nobody's played this game, it's bundled in with The Last Story, clearly a JRPG, and Xenoblade, clearly a JRPG,
Yep.
as a JRPG. And I was thinking about it. I was like, aesthetically, this game is a JRPG. Like, you look at like Aeon, the main character, you're like, oh yeah, he's like a post Nomura, like very obviously influenced character. But this game is closer to like a Zelda 1 or like a DM or not Zelda 1, like a PS2 era Zelda or a DMC 1.
Yep. Yeah, it's like Okay, this is what it reminds me of. PS2 Castlevania mixed with Dawn of Mana.
That's actually like the best. Like compare. Like you nailed it.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes that's really sick because like there were aspects of PS2 Castlevania that were dope, and it actually takes some of the better aspects of it. Like the combat in this game is kind of fun. Like
Yeah, it is.
It's sick. But like the navigation just feels like ice, you know, like or just like not an ice, a marsh. I'm just fucking trudging through the swamp, you know. But it's like a solid little game. And the combat is like, how do I describe it? It's like it does feel very CV2 PS2 or CV PS2. But it does try to incorporate more like weird control elements and actual RPG elements, but it's so streamlined that those things never really get a chance to breathe, right? Yeah.
So I guess my question ended up would be like, so the Percy Jackson game on the DS is a JRPG mechanically, but is a fucking Percy Jackson movie game, obviously. So it's not a JRPG.
Right.
Can you be so aesthetically JRPG that you become a JRPG?
Can you racially identify as a JRPG even though if the the origins are my thing with the whole, I don't want to get too stuck on this, but my whole thing with JRPG is that like it's a Japanese, it'd be like saying a spaghetti western, right? Like a spaghetti western isn't just in a western made in Italy. It also has there's a lot of elements from that specific Italian take on the genre that bled into other genres, into westerns and movies as a whole.
Philosophy more than any strict like it's got more of an art history connotation than it does like any design connotation. Like,
yes, that's a perfect way to describe it. And but that being said, 80% of the time, heuristically, JRPG literally means to me like Japanese RPG. So like, you know, you like Y2K is not a fucking JRPG, right? Like, you know,
I get what you mean.
But yeah, that's as far as it goes.
I love this game. I think it's cute, and you all should play it if you like JRPGs or Eco or Castlevania: Curse of Darkness.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, Curse of Darkness, it's definitely up there. I wouldn't call it C, but I don't know, man. Compared to a lot of these, it just.
I think it's a B tier game. I think it's an A tier game, so I'd put it in B tier.
Okay, all right, that's fair. We'll do that.
Actually, no, C for Castlevania.
Yep, true. So, all right, let's pick a fucking D. What's your
Symphonia.
D? It's Tales of Symphonia. Yeah, thank you, Rob. I was like, oh, did I put a D on here? Yeah, it's Tales of Symphonia.
Okay, all right.
Stinks.
All right, I don't. Man, I'm a noted Tales midder. I'm a Tales doomer.
My best friend.
But so like I have to be honest though, I connected a lot with Symphonia. This was the first Tales. I played Fantasia before this came out, but like I have to say that I have a lot of like nostalgia for this game, and a lot of it like there is some really good character writing and moments in this game. So like as an RPG, I'm sort of reluctant. In the context of RPGs as a whole, I'm sort of reluctant to call it D tier, but for this list and in this context, yeah, definitely, 100%. That's in there.
So my perspective on this, I'm like the archetypal GameCube Zoomer, but like not the cringe one, like the cool one. The one who speedruns F-Zero GX, not the one who tweets about Wind Waker's art style 10 times a week.
Yeah, okay, all right, let's go.
So I heard about this game so much as a kid because it's like one of the like 3 JRPGs on the GameCube, 2 of which are on this list, funnily enough. And it's the worst one. But I finally get it as like maybe like 13-year-old. I was definitely like Wii U was coming out soon. And I played it one summer. And it's like the peak Tales like. Okay, when Fantasia added like the action combat system to a JRPG on the Super Famicom, is like, wow, that's genuinely insanely impressive. And Tales of Fantasia has a lot going for it, but Tales of's design outside of its combat never evolved.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
you might as well be playing Tales of Fantasia, and like Symphonia has some things going for it. I don't think it looks as good as people say it does. It looks all right.
No, it doesn't, dude. It has Comic Sans.
Yeah. Also, one of Motoi
Pirates?
Sakuraba's most like by the numbers Motoi Sakuraba soundtracks.
Yeah.
This game does have some standout narrative moments. Everything Zelos does is the best thing in the game. There's the hot coffee scene, which has a different connotation for other gamers, I guess. But that scene is goated. But yeah, I like the meme of Zelos saying, "Damn, I must be a genius, double Demon Fang," more than I like this game. This game sucks.
That's a perfect way to capstone it. I think the only thing I would add is this game co-op is really fucking fun, though. I will say, it takes the monotony out of it, and it's actually one of my higher Tales games, despite all the fucking blah mid about it. No Tales
ratio.
No Tales game goes above a mid 6. Anyway, speaking of mid 6, let's talk about a fucking mediocre game too. Let's go to where is it? It's over here somewhere. Where's that fucking stupid game?
Oh, Scarlet Nexus?
Yeah, where is it? Yeah, exactly.
Right beside Phantasy Star.
No, Phantasy Star. Oh, right, yeah. This is the worst game on the list, I think. This game.
I've got one I'd argue, but
this game is
I don't know anything about this game.
Ooh, man. So you know what? We didn't really show Symphonia. That's okay.
That's fine.
That's okay. What was this? Scarlet Nexus. So this game is like a really cool concept with like the telekinesis and blah 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 blah. It actually feels, I feel like, a little bit more like what they were trying to do with a new Tales game than anything else. If that makes sense. Like, it felt like an evolution of like what Tales was like should have been trying to do or something. Maybe setting wise or thematically or whatever. Really clunky. I think it's Unreal, man. It's like a clunky Unreal physics game, and like
it reads to me like a high production value version of like the 1,000 Vita games that were like published by Atlas that I didn't play.
Yeah. And bro, look at this shit though. Yo, this shit is like, it looks like Pandora's Tower upscaled.
That's awesome.
But like there's like a satisfying Naughty Dog-esque AAA action element to it where you use the telekinesis to whack the shit out of stuff, and it's like kind of dope. But that novelty goes by so fast. The story is completely like underutilized, full of like bullshit jerk off anime tropes. I watched the anime too. I watched the whole fucking anime just for literacy, I think. It's not a bad game. It's just such a mediocre game that does nothing interesting or new apart from its concept that's never used. And I also platinumed it.
Fuck yeah. So I like anime, and I like anime's effects on JRPGs. But when a JRPG tries to cater to anime fans as opposed to like any sort of game player, I roll my eyes.
Yep.
And that's kind of why I don't like a lot of Tales of. I like the occasional Tales of, and this game reeks of that.
Dude, you have such a good ability to just put things into perspective so fast, and it completely. Fuck! I didn't switch the overlay. Whatever. Yeah, I think that's a perfect description of it. Without even having played the game, you fucking nailed it. So, what is your worst game on this list right here?
So it's probably.
Wait, hold on, Ref.
Put that above Symphonia. I've actually played Scarlet Nexus. It's not that bad. It's not bad.
And it's not bad. It's just mid. It's just like a high 5.
No, it's a high mid. That's why it's above Symphonia.
High mid is like a low 6. No, actually, 6 is higher than average.
Upper middle mid.
Upper middle mid.
We're really splitting hairs here.
Okay, yeah. I got a lot of them, so okay. Okay, I'll bow to that though, Raph. That's fair. Fair play. All right, Forte, what is your worst
So
game?
there's two games I can pick on here, and I'm not gonna pick on one of them because I want to talk about it with Etrian later. So I'm gonna say Neo Tui.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is like in JRPGs, despite being ostensibly having so much content that you should make less of them, because they require so much work. This is like peak JRPG sequelitis, and there's things I really like about this game. Like the music is fantastic. So the plot is not bad inherently, but it's just like they made a sequel to this game because Twui had developed a like cult following and was an IP, but like everything about Twui is like outside of the aesthetic is just not here. Like
Yeah.
the world ends with you is so cool mechanically because of its combat system, which evokes the feeling of trying to understand another person. That's like the whole idea there. This game has similar ideas, like you control more than one person and you've got the pin system, but it's like it's only like that because the world ends with you. It was like that. It's not like that because it has anything to say with that. It's just like that because it's a sequel.
And
And
this is
similarly,
actually a different This is way different battle system.
yeah. I mean, you control a varying amount of characters. Yeah, at least 4 characters. Anyways,
yeah.
What was I going to say? And then the presentation outside of the battles. First of all, like there are a couple things in this game that I'm like, someone who's 40 thought this was teenage. But generally, they're pretty good about this.
Yeah.
They're generally like there's some slang in there that I was like, whoa, I can't believe they caught that. But the presentation where it's like flying DS anime portraits. When Twui did that on the DS, it was like the best looking version of that on the DS.
Yeah.
When you do it here, it feels cheap because this is a PS4 game. It's not a
culture and historical context don't match up as well with this series with this game that it did on DS. I don't think.
Yeah, and like Twui was being very contemporary, and DS flying anime portraits were contemporary then, but like this is no longer contemporary. It's lost its cultural context. It just kind of feels cheap a lot of the time.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Also, Rindo is like maybe the worst sad boy Square Enix has ever written, and he is mopey and dejected for half the game, and like has no real meaningful payoff to that at all. I feel like.
Interesting.
Bro, this is
also
so
bad pacing.
Oh, yeah. So one thing I think I wanted to touch on really fast that you mentioned is that if someone 40 wrote that, I feel like that's the issue with that's the thing I like about old Persona and SMT because those people weren't 40 yet. Those people were younger than me at the time too, probably around your age, Forte. So it's like, it's wild to think about, like when the divide wasn't as big with the big creatives in that field. But where's this going?
I think Persona 3 is like the perfect zenith of that. Actually, like they were just about to get too old, which you can kind of see in Persona 4.
Yeah. The hairline receded just in time. Is this below Symphonia?
I'll put this above Symphonia because it has something to say.
Also, alphabetically last, right? Yeah. Is there anything here that's like Speaking of Square Enix games in the recent years, I have not played this Kingdom Hearts 3. Where's this going?
See, I haven't finished it.
Ooh, that's okay. That's cool though. We're just based off of what you have played. Where's this going?
Kingdom Hearts 3 gonna go above Chrono Trigger.
Oh.
100%. Go for it. That's where it goes. I've played it.
First of all, Nomura, my goat, ratio all those old head nerds who were working on Chrono Trigger. Second of all, for as much as the game has shit I hate in it, like most Kingdom Hearts games do, It navigates a lot of the thematic stuff of Kingdom Hearts way better than all of the games between 2 and 3 did. Uh, yeah, and I think that stuff is meaningful. Also, Nomura got screwed with Final Fantasy 15, and seeing that kind of manifest
Yeah, yeah.
into this game is pretty cool.
How's the
So,
gameplay? That's what I'm curious about.
Worse than 2, which is, I mean, not saying much. Most games play worse than 2. But better than all of the spin-offs in my experience.
That's what I was guessing. I was guessing it'd be around 2 level. I need to say it also real before I say this, because this is probably the most boomer thing about me. But the DLC really added a lot to this, didn't it? Didn't it add like a bunch of cool shit and like challenging fights and
As I understand it, the DLC is what the post game should have been, which, modern gaming moment. But
yeah. Okay, interesting.
also, like, I think they Golden Drummer said it right. Like, this game is incredibly smooth, and that's really cool. And it's a shame it doesn't reach like the technical mechanical heights of Kingdom Hearts 2. But like, being as smooth as this game is a feat in of itself.
Interesting. Yeah, that intrigues me because I hate Kingdom Hearts. I like Kingdom Hearts gameplay. Hate Kingdom Hearts.
This is the generational gap.
Yeah, no, dude, well, okay. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 when it first came out, and like, I liked it. I really did like it. I thought it was really cool, and I still like it. But I don't like it for anything other than the gameplay. Like, the story had a bit of a how do I describe, like a unique charm to it, the concept. And I'm not even one of those people who's like, oh, they took Final Fantasy out of the game. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, that doesn't even. I didn't play Kingdom Hearts because it had Final Fantasy characters. It was just like a cool RPG with Disney shit that, like, even if it didn't have Disney shit, I still would have thought it was cool.
it was like a game by the Final Fantasy guys as opposed to a game about Final Fantasy.
Right, and I think like that. I feel like that is the thing a lot of people my age will cite. Like, oh, it's not Final. It's not fucking Final Fantasy, dumbass. That's why it's called Kingdom Hearts. That's not Final Hearts 3. And like, there's just nothing about this game, the story, has ever intrigued me. I think the characters are full stop cringe.
I think a great example of one of my problems with this game is the fact that you're skipping around so hard trying to find where they're not talking.
Yeah.
You just
I'm super ADHD with clicking stuff here, so I
but they just wouldn't. All the cutscenes were just everywhere. Yeah, I'll sell you on Kingdom Hearts story one day, but
I know all the moves of it. I just don't give. I played almost all the games too. I just don't care.
I'll make
dumb.
you care. I'll make you care.
Yes, Daddy. That's a challenge.
Wait, okay. So can I pick the next game because I have a segue from here?
Absolutely.
So,
oh wait, where's this going? Actually, you set up here, but I'm doing this because I don't like Kingdom Hearts. And Kingdom.
Well, then put
Hearts.
it below SMT2.
Okay, that's fair. All right, that's even better. Okay, yeah. What's the next one?
Final Fantasy VIII. I did put that on here, right?
Where's this going? Yeah, where's this going? Right here. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VIII's going in the A tier.
Ooh, okay. Above Persona or below it? Or where's it going?
I'd say above Radiant Historia.
Wow, okay.
But I'm curious because you don't care about the narrative in Kingdom Hearts. And obviously this wasn't written by the same people as Kingdom Hearts at all. But it is kind of the prototype of a lot of Squeenix writing in the era Kingdom Hearts was. And so I'm curious what you think about this game's writing because I think it's phenomenal. But if you don't like Kingdom Hearts stories, I think you might think less of it than that.
I actually disagree. 9 is. FF9 is the to me that is the most similar to Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Yeah. Look at maybe not the themes so much, but the concepts of like the way the team interacts. And the ideas of like, I guess like creation and like purpose are really similar. FF9 to me is way more mature, but the edgy kind of that kind of shit is definitely like the attitude of Kingdom Hearts is definitely more, the character writing is more FF8, I would say.
Yeah, so like this is I mean, the most obvious is like the emo influences.
Yeah.
Like Squall, Much Ado About Squall. I'm not going to get into it here. Um, but I like the way they tackle
Oh shit.
like character level issues with a bunch of like very broad abstract like fantasy themes and concepts. Is like I feel like became very much more the genre standard going into the PS2 generation and stuff. I think this game was like way ahead of the curve on that. And also, you might be familiar with the mecha meme. You know, the unlike other mechas, Evangelion is about the characters. Yeah, so everybody has their dumb garbage JRPG where that has an emo main character, and then like unlike other JRPGs, this JRPG uses the emo main character for like storytelling reasons or whatever, or like it has a good one. They're all biting Squall shit, and they need to sit down because this game's the fucking goat.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I'm a huge FF8 stan, to be honest. I think it's a complete mess of a game. It is like hilariously misguided in so many ways. It doesn't even make sense. A lot of dude, the pacing of this game is fucked up. Like, there's
the pacing is so crazy.
So fucked up. There's the whole it's worse than 15, bro. It's definitely worse than 15. I'll say it. Yeah. There's that part where all of a sudden it's like Sid and Adea just dropping like giant bombs on you, and it's like, okay, well that happened. Cool.
And then like you'll get like a Laguna mission immediately afterwards.
Yeah. But bro, it is so. I actually don't think there's emo influences in it. It's like Kino inspired. I mean that in the true like art house film. You know, it's like it's very anime, obviously.
It's very esoteric.
Yeah, but like school and like sword, like fighting with swords for no reason. All the typical anime tropes that were big here. But like a lot of the romantic elements, I mean that like in the broad sense of the term, not just like not intimate, but just romantic. Yeah, that stuff is very like taken from Hollywood, from even fucking like there's so many like weird Tarkovsky things in this.
Yeah. Squeenix was on that wave, like really, or Square, sorry, was really on this wave, like right here. Final Fantasy VII is full of it too.
Bro, this scene right here, this scene is fucking ridiculous. Like, because Laguna's designed to be this like suave-looking, interesting character. He's a pretty boy. He's meant to be like a commanding presence. You're taking control of him, but he's a fucking incel and a dumbass, and it's so funny.
Awesome.
Right? It's so like it's so ballsy and like action movie-esque, and like it has the same kind of tone that like Paul Verhoeven films do. You know, where it's like the social commentary and the that's like completely ham-fisted and stupid, but like it's such a product of its time, and I feel like its charm it really does carry all of its like vapidity at times.
Yeah.
The battle system is shit. I mean, it's triple triads the game. The battle system is.
I'll defend the battle system in some regards, but yeah, I mean, like it's obviously like more experimental than it is polished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Final Fantasy kind of will alternate between those every so often. You know, this game is a hot mess, but very experimental. FF9 is a lot more tame, but very polished. FF12 is very polished and very experimental, which is sometimes the series puts one of those games out, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to say this is also maybe the best JRPG translation of its era.
Oh yeah,
it's got some weirdisms like Adea using K's for C's to convey something. I don't know what.
Yeah, because you're supposed to have like an accent or something. Like it's supposed to be like
the accent, by the way, is not there in Japanese.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there's a lot of changes to the script from Japanese to English that I think point to like a better understanding of this game's text than translators were allowed to have back then. You know, you'll listen to Woolsey talk about stuff he did for like the SNES era stuff, and it's like, man, what were those working conditions like? Like, how do you translate text that like line by line, but like
Yep.
not get the full text given? Like, oh, it's insane.
And without being able to check it, and oh god, yeah.
Yeah. So like here, I feel like Squall, for as abrasive as he is, and it's intentionally so if somehow someone doesn't know that in current year, I feel like Squall is like very naturally written a lot of times, despite how weirdly obtuse he is as a character. The way it's handled is like characters are aware of how weird he is.
Yeah.
Like Renoa makes fun of him for it. Like this game is using these weird anime character archetypes and then playing off of them like they're real people. It's really interesting to watch.
That's such a good description. I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize about Squall, or don't like to acknowledge, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, is that Squall is a very pragmatic protagonist. He's not a hero just to be a hero, and it's not just because he's emo.
It's literally his job.
It's literally his job, and he's like he there's numerous times where he's like, I don't know if I should just jump in and help because it's putting people in danger. It's like, I don't know if I want to fucking risk that for no reason. We don't know both sides of this story, and not in like a garbage American
Centrist,
moderate way. Yeah, like it's not like, oh, there's good and bad on both sides, but it's literally like, and there are things that are being hidden from them, and like the garden and all this shit. So it's like it's validated, and I think a lot of people just get stuck on the Squall as emo thing, and he's like not even that fucking emo, man. But yeah,
Squall the Goat. Also, dysfunctional JRPG cast are better than entirely functional ones. So
yeah, do you know what? I don't have anything good to say about much of the rest of the cast of this game. I have to say, like the main cast.
I like Renoa a lot.
Renoa's good. Quistis is a travesty. Zell is actually pretty. I like Zell.
Zell is a character who's there.
Zell is a character. Yeah. Yep.
But also, like, Squall and Renoa are the ones in the logo for a reason. This game is about them.
True. So we're right in this wave of experimental. I'm gonna go with one of my favorite games on this list, Saga Frontier. Putting it in S because S for Saga, which is
got you.
It could also be an A, so like the border between the two. You're talking about it like, so Saga Frontier is actually, I would say it's not as experimental as the Romancing Saga games by any means. Have you played this before?
So my entire experience with Saga is I heard one time someone say it was somehow related to Final Fantasy II. And then one of my friends sends me art from somewhere in the franchise that I think is super sexy and cool. And that's all I know about the whole franchise.
Yeah, that's all you need to know, really. Yeah, but like, so this game, I feel like it eschews so much of the Z-Ed pain points of JRPGs, because it's not really about grinding. You can grind, sure. You need to have certain text to be able to have a chance against certain things, and Saga's mostly like this in general. But it scales enemies, something that FF8 does too, in a way that like it prevents you from doing that. It can almost actively punish you if you're not smart about your grinding, which is really cool. And it forces encounters in a way, or greatly encourages encounters by making encounters hard to avoid, which you can run away from in the remaster, which completely changes the way you interact with the scenarios. But it's a fucking bizarre game. This game is like, has insanely threadbare writing with super high concepts. Like, you're not sure, are you on a planet? Are you going between multiple planets? Are you shifting dimensions? Now you're in fucking Hong Kong. Like there's so many, like there's so much character. It's almost like overbearing at times.
This is a PS1 game, right?
The PS1 game, yeah. And look, this is from the PS1 version. This game is beautiful, man.
Is this early PS1?
97.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, not long after FF7 came out, actually.
There's a weird era because Super Nintendo RPGs are very like threadbare writing wise. And then you have PS1 RPGs, which end up being like Xenogears by the end of the system, which are like
Yeah.
maybe the bit yeah.
So different, yeah.
So it's kind of cute to see this game be both. Right in the
Yeah.
middle of the system's life, like it's got so much going on and is also like short script.
Yeah, and it's very bite-sized. There's so much about this game that is wildly unfinished, even with the remaster that added a bunch of shit. Like it's insane. I mean, there's the main character that you're seeing right now. His whole thing is that he's like a almost like a Super Sentai character. So he has like a superhero form, and if everybody in the party dies, he turns into the form. And the gimmick is that like nobody knows that form is him, even though it's so fucking obvious that it is.
That is the most scathingly Japanese joke ever.
Yeah, I know. And it's like that's a character, but then there's also a character who's like supposed to go around the world and study magic and kill his like Christopher Nolan and Night Shyamalan twist brother who like, there's so many cool concepts in this game. It's like oozing with style. The mechanics are like completely obtuse and like obfuscated from you, so your experience is very emergent. Frustratingly so. But this game is so good, man. I playing it as a kid, I was a little bit like apprehensive toward it, but now it's definitely up there. I would say it's not the Godman said that Saga seems like it could either be an S or an F tier for you and not much in between. I think that's pretty true.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get. I'm definitely interested in it.
No, that's kind of a Forte game. Honestly, I think that would be. I think personally, you'd probably put it like right here or up here, maybe. But like, it's definitely higher than most of the games on this list. I would see it being that for you.
Good.
This is a good. How do you learn? Okay, my best suggestion with Saga games, I did a whole damn podcast about this, is that you should go into it blind until you hit the point of frustration, and when you hit that point of frustration, figure out the mechanics. There's guides online, mechanics, through lines and FAQs that will help a lot with understanding it. And once you see how the pieces come together, it's like there's a lot of Western tabletop influence in this series, and you see it really. You don't see it as heavily with Frontier, but it's still there in the mechanics. I didn't want to get stuck on the. Yeah, was that?
There's a reviewer I heard talking about a similarly esoteric game, Racing Lagoon, which is on this list.
Yeah.
So Racing Lagoon. Sorry to interrupt the Saga thing.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to address this comment. Ryoku said, "No, you can't really do that in Frontier. But you can't really grind and just hoard stuff in Frontier. I guess you could with New Game Plus, but not on your first thing. So sorry, Racing Lagoon."
Yeah, so this game is similarly esoteric, and I was working on a review for it. Understanding this game is like understanding Renaissance paintings. And from the way you describe it, that's what Saga Frontier sounds like, where it makes no fucking sense, and then someone tells you who all the people in the painting are, and like everything clicks together magically. So I have no knowledge of cars. My Japanese was okay when I played this game, but not very great. I don't play racing games, but it's a Square. I keep saying Squeenix. Sorry. It's a Square RPG from the turn of the millennia, and I mean, look at this game; it's gorgeous. So I was like, well, I've got to play this, and it might be like one of the best Square like action RPGs, because that's kind of what it is, of all time. I really love this game, and it got me like more into cars and more into learning Japanese and more in just to understand the fucking absurdity of this game. If you don't know, it's got a lot of Final Fantasy 13 staff on it specifically.
Oh yeah.
And it's famously in Japan, it's called the Poetry Game, because this game, half of its script is the main character driving really fast at night and doing like haikus at you.
Liminal, baby.
Yeah, this game owns. I think it might be the best presented PS1 JRPG.
Ooh.
Even with its crusty renders and everything. Yeah, I love this game.
So when the English patch dropped not long ago, about a year ago, I played. I'd always heard of this game. It was super interesting, and I didn't play it for very long. I think I pretty much got up to like where this is in the video, but it's like it has like a sort of almost open world aspect to it, where you're walking around a map, right, and then like things, like events happen.
Yeah.
And then like you like triple triad race people. It functions kind of similar to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's actually a very great comparison. This game has I call them FF13 staff. At the time, they would have been FF8 staff.
Right.
A lot of those people are on this game. The structure is really interesting. Basically, you have a night. This game's broken up into I think 2 weeks worth of nights. Might be closer to 1 week, but you do whatever you want, whatever exists in that night. You drive around and find stuff spontaneously. And then you end the night with a major story event. And there's cars possessing people to drive faster and dude. This game has the sexiest OST of all time. It's I love this game.
Yeah.
I will say, if anyone in chat has never heard of this game and decides to play it now that it's in English, if you're getting frustrated with it being a racing game RPG, download the easy mode patch, which just gives you a jacked car, and just have fun with the crazy story and setting and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I love shit like this. This game is, I don't know why I didn't put more time into it. I think I was playing so much shit. But
it's kind of abrasive in the way that a lot of games from this era are.
But I love that so much cool shit in PS1 era, man. So much cool.
Oh, for sure. Ryoku, people don't like FF13. I'm not one of those people.
I like FF13. I'm
it's okay. FF13. It's pretty cool. Starbucks punk.
Starbucks punk.
Oh.
So where's, by the way, Racing Lagoon, not to be confused with Bahamut Lagoon. Where's this going? B for
just below FF8.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna put it below this just because I haven't played as much, and I'm trying to fuck with your ratings, basically.
Gotcha.
For chaos.
FF8, obviously because it's a Final Fantasy, it ended up being more influential. But I think FF8 also has a lot of ideas that were going to be influential anyways. So I want to put it ahead of the Racing Lagoon for that, but they're comparable.
All right, cool. I got a hot take for you. Well, sorry, Raph. What's up?
No, go for it. This is dumb. Don't worry.
No, go. I need one dumb thing. Hit me with it.
Oh no, just the easiest S rank is Xenoblade for skills. That's for skill.
Yeah, you're spitting.
Okay.
No discussion on that whatsoever.
Cool. Yeah, we could do that. Bravely Default C tier.
Whoa! Hold up.
Nope. No.
Nah, come on here, Joe.
Come on, low A at least.
Wait, so give me. You gotta explain this one.
The game isn't fun at all.
You're not fun.
The game. Okay, don't get me wrong. The ends justify the means in Bravely Default. I'm not gonna argue that at all. And I love boomer job systems. You know. Actually, funny enough, this game made me realize that I like FF5 a lot. But dude, the loop, and I try not to spoil anything.
Bad, I'll fight you.
The loop sucks, man.
No,
the first
it
time, no, it sucks. It sucks. It's the same bosses over and over again.
No,
just
they're different.
Iterative. It's not
but
fun.
They get mixed and matched.
It's not
mix and match
engaging.
new moves.
Maybe you should have tapped out like the story told you to, SMH.
I mean, I tried, but then I was like,
no, I think the issue is people trick themselves into doing everything on every possible loop, and it's like the game takes twice as long when you do that.
Oh yeah. No, you don't have to do that. You just get the important stuff, and then you do what you got to do. But No, man, I don't know. The characters are really blah to me. The writing was it's got some goof. Like even here, you in this little snippet that I got here, you get some goof on there. I like the FFDS remake style. Like to me, this is like kind of a little bit closer to what the FFDS remakes should have looked like. I like the takes, the Bravely Default takes on the classes. Like the Red Mage is like a little bit like fancier and whatever. It's a good game. The battle system feels way less about grind. It truncates a lot of the issues that JRPGs typically experience with grind and time investment and all that kind of stuff and strategy. Sure, but it just like nothing about it is ever really memorable to me. It just like it doesn't ever really hit. It's the whole middle section of the game completely drags down. It's like the SMT2 fetch quest I was talking about. That it almost like it tanks the game so hard. And even then I wasn't like the first loop isn't even particularly like amazing either. But like, you know, it got me with the job system. And it lost me when it tried to be like clever. Because I think this game tries so fucking hard to be clever with across the board mechanically. Man, it sucks because like teams Asano games, like I think they're so close to being good. They're so close to being really good, really good, I should say. And like I feel like this is another game that's like people played this right when their brains were becoming more adultified, and this is the game. I had that experience with shit. It was probably like a late PS2. Maybe Persona 3 is a good example.
Oh yeah.
I could say
that. I mean, that's a popular example of that. Atlas games tend to do that to people.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this is kind of that too. I don't think people would like this style of it's. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that because that's a stupid fucking. That's a thing. That's a dumb thing to say because it's you get caught up in the what if, then that sucks. But yeah, tell me why you think that this is not a C. Hit me.
So I think the battle system like actually rips. I really like braving and defaulting. So like, you kind of called me out. I did play this game when I was like 13 or 14. My mom actually drove me around the state to find the collector's edition for it.
Oh shit!
It was like one of my early collecting adventures. I think this game is good at crystallizing appeal for people who don't already like games like FF3 and FF5, because I did. I definitely did. I definitely was like, ooh, game old smelly. It injects just enough character and its own identity, because this game, people will write it off the way they write off Octopath, like, oh, it's just FF5 or FF3 or whatever, but it's not that, and the series developed more identity as it went on. I haven't played 2, but second is already off the deep end by its end. But like stuff like having actual characters shallow, and they're generally pretty shallow, but they're enjoyable. Does a lot for me compared to something like FF3. I have a hard time getting into FF5 even still. But also having a more like mechanically substantive battle system does that. And this game has some like actual like theming stuff that it wants to say. The title is actually kind of like sick, even though it is a Team Asano title.
No, I like Bravely. I think that title rips. That's cool, man.
Yeah, Triangle Strategy and Octopath Traveler do not go.
Yeah, no, those suck ass. Yeah, but the Bravely Default sounds cool.
Yeah, I don't have like strong arguments for this game. I actually got into an argument about this game the other day. Because I guess I should replay it, but I think this game, the criticism that comes against it, that it's too derivative and doesn't have like identity of its own, is something I don't think holds up against the game well. But I've never actually heard anyone just say they thought this game was boring. So I guess I don't really have much to say about that.
And I remember this game came out at such a good time. because I think I had a weekend off. And yeah, Lunith and all the characters in FF3 3D were named in the 3D version. They were just blank slates in FF3.
Yeah.
And even then, that's a different discussion because it's like so stupid. But no, I
And
mean,
even in like FF5, which this game takes some from as well, the character writing is still SNES or early SNES or RPG character writing. You know.
yeah. So I don't think this game is necessarily derivative so much as it is inspired by. Um,
Mhm.
but I do think the things that it feels like a oh man, I don't even know how to articulate it. It just doesn't like it feels like it kind of doesn't know what it wants to do with its influence fully. Right? It's like okay, we have to have a job system. We have to have this. We're going to do that. We're going to make a really solid mechanic based around it. And then we're going to kind of like sometimes take retro shit but be too afraid to go all the way. And maybe Second's a little
Yeah.
different. I haven't played Second.
You should. I think if that is your criticism of default, you should absolutely play Second. That game
Okay.
goes off the fucking rails.
Because I played it for like a couple hours and then I kind of just dropped it. But yeah, I played it. I played this when it first came out, and I played it over the weekend, and I was like really invested in it at first. It was wild because I was like, I don't really like FF5. I think FF5 is kind of mid. It's whatever. It's fun, but it's like not my favorite. And then I played through this, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah! This is so much better than FF5." I love that. I love like that it's taking all these concepts about Final Fantasy that I used to love and really like making them into their own. And then after the game ended and I finished everything, I was just like empty. I was like, I don't feel it. It was like it felt like eating too much candy to me, and maybe that's too feels based, but
Well, no, actually, I was gonna say that's probably because this game has the best feeling number up of like most RPGs. Like just like the raw dopamine of like going up, like stats going up and checking off things off a checklist.
oh
The
yeah,
Microsoft
with
excelness
yeah.
of the genre.
Right,
That game,
yeah,
that game
yeah.
excels at that. And
Yeah,
obviously, you'd feel a little empty if that was all you were getting out of the game. So, uh,
BD is definitely one for the ATB boomers, and I like your Excel pun that you unintentionally made.
I would put it above KH3 for sure.
Really?
And
Okay.
you
What about
you
this?
made me you hostage negotiation Chrono Trigger into B tier for me. So
Look,
no
man,
shot.
you had to
No
let
shot.
one die, okay? Like if
Nope.
just yeah. What about
Nope.
this
No
though?
shot.
Is Kingdom Hearts over here better? Is this the compromise that you are acceptable with?
Okay, Joey.
No. Bravely Default's got to go up to B tier. Even if KH comes down to C.
Okay, all right.
Bravely Default has to go.
Okay, all right.
No, no.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. What's fair is fair. I know. I'm assuming that Godman was trolling with the ATB thing, but I had to take it anyway.
Godman was the person I was talking about Bravely Default with the other day.
Oh no.
Conversation.
Let me know in the chat what you guys are saying. That's interesting. All right, let's pull a game that
Sorry, Godman.
it,
Oh
You
wait,
gotta put
I,
it in C tier.
I have one that's kind of related to what we just said.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Fantasy Life.
Okay. Well, that's actually what I was going to select. Yeah, let's go. Where's this going? Right here?
Yeah. So, I really like this game, and I don't give a shit about Harvest Moon or all the farming sim games. I played like 2 hours of Stardew Valley. And obviously, this game is more inspired by Rune Factory than those things, but
Yeah.
Rune Factory is just anime Harvest Moon, as I understand it.
No. You know what? I feel like I wouldn't hate that. Okay, that description is SMG's Pokemon for grown-ups.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
It's not completely off base, but it's like also completely missing the point. You know, like
Yeah, for sure. So this game is like maybe the best number uppage in the genre. Everything in this game is grinding, and I love it.
Okay, let's see if we get some.
But on top of that, really fucking quirky, cute character writing. This game has way too much text in it, which was annoying even when I played it back when. But all of the text is well written, so you don't ever want to skip it either. Um, the world and like everything you do in it is like really cute and charming. There's something amazing about pulling out an axe to chop down a tree and it playing boss music because that's how this game works. Every job is like a full story. Um, it's also a really fantastic multiplayer game. Like I played like maybe 100 hours of this with my friend David one summer. Uh,
Wow.
but like I feel like I have to be cynical about this game because it is like it is just grinding. It is like it is Microsoft Excel, you know.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Google Sheets. So I didn't actually play the full release. I have this, but I only played the demo when it came out.
Yeah.
And I was like interested in it. It felt like I went into it it's like a mixture of Miitopia and Rune Factory.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Also, okay,
I did not expect you to make a Miitopia reference, but I see what you mean.
Okay, so I got called a racist, so Kingdom Hearts is going to be. This might not my skinhead history. Yeah, no, it's I like this game. Like, from when I played of it, this is a really hard game for me to talk about because I don't.
Mhm.
How about this question? Playing it now, what would it be like?
So there's a difference between single player and multiplayer. Because obviously any game is 10 times better if you have a friend who's also into it.
Right.
That's why Tales of can still exist, I imagine. But,
well, not anymore because Arise got rid of that, and so did Berseria.
are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
what
Rise
is
didn't have
wrong with
co-op.
that game? Oh my god.
Yep.
Anyways, this game is like if you want a comfortable game, and like you're willing to like let yourself just like be immersed in like a goofy, cutesy little world. This game is fantastic for that. For like, I'd say probably like, I'd say just play until you're like, this is no longer fun, and then immediately drop it. Even if you haven't beaten the story, I think the game is like really cool. But a lot of its designisms are stuff I have to be cynical of. Otherwise, I feel like it's unethical. Because like games like Harvest Moon are like gotcha games without like exploiting your wallet. Like,
right. And I realize I have not been streaming this to the Discord, so you haven't been able to see this in real time.
Oh my god!
I've been watching on
finally.
Yeah, somebody should have said that you guys are stinky, nasty boys. So C for comfy, right?
I like this game more than that, but I'll agree to that.
Okay, cool. And because we don't want to put like a cutesy game high, because we're trying to build cred, you know.
Yeah,
And C is for
JRPGs
cred.
are for the cool guys.
Right. And C is for cred, so I think this is an acceptable place. Okay, so going off that, I want to talk. I think I saw you tweet about this, Forte. Bon Kaitos, and this is a stupid fucking distinction, but I just put both games as one because they were originally intended to be like one big thing. And
yes. So I'm torn on you doing that, actually.
Yeah, I know, me too. But like, it just like they're so similar. Like they're like the.
Oh, see, I do not. I don't dislike the original Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean, which is a hard subtitle. That goes hard.
Yeah, that's so good. It's very post.
I don't dislike that game, but all of its crust is stuff that's like specifically abrasive to me. Like I don't like any of the character designs in that game. I don't like. Dude, the voice acting is like me hilarious. Talking into this Gatorade bottle right now.
Yeah.
Like,
to be fair though, that was like a stupid compression issue that they really should have understood, but they didn't. And
but I love Origins. I think it's a fantastic game.
Origins really good. Origins music I think might be better too.
Oh yeah, dude, Valedictory Elegy is a meme for a reason.
So good. Such a good game, and like they're both beautiful games. I think I agree with you about the character. Callus's character design is like from the waist up, it's fucking sick, and then from the waist down, it's like a 2 out of 10.
Look at his legs, bro.
Bro, he's wearing Crocs. It's like, hey, we're inspired by FF10, but I played this game after FF10, and to me, it was what I wanted FF10 to be. I think
this game is gorgeous though.
Yeah, it's dude, the backgrounds, the fucking dude, this soundtrack for both of these games, holy shit, it's good. Sakuraba has been fooling us for years, telling us that he can't make good soundtracks, and then Bon Kaitos comes out and it's like,
how does he clock out from this game and Dark Souls and go write Tales of Who Gives a Fuck?
or fucking, yeah, for real. Or Tales of Arise was making... Oh, and Valkyrie Profile, too, bro. That soundtrack is slappers.
Oh, that is Sakuraba. You're totally right.
But no, this game is, like, the story takes... I don't want to spoil anything about Eternal Wings, but this game's... And Origins, too, is like this. They both have something about their stories that, like... It's the kind of twist that doesn't feel like a twist to be subversive. It feels like the game was intended to challenge the player, what they think, and it's a really cool world, really interesting battle system. I actually think Eternal Wings wins though, because even though it's more random, lol, so random, it feels like a little bit more tactical than Origins. I feel like you can stick to a very specific play style with Origins more, but Origins definitely more refined, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely play both games. Like if you play one of them and get a moderate amount of joy of it, you should play the other one. I think they're a great package together. Also, we're talking about JRPGs, so I've got to mention pre-rendered backgrounds. This is like one of the few. I mean, they were still around more than a few, but this is like a classic JRPG that uses pre-renders in that generation. The other one that comes to mind of all games right now is SMT9, and they're like they're a little less consistent in quality than like a high budget Square Enix game, but they're generally gorgeous.
Yeah. And like just something about the aesthetic too. It's very, it feels like a spiritually successive to Chrono Cross. Kaitos in so many ways.
Everybody makes that comparison to me. I got to get the Chrono Cross.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Wait, you haven't played Chrono Cross?
I'm not. I played like an hour of it.
Oh, that's fucked up, bro. Especially as a Trigger hater.
Yeah, so imagine I play Trigger, and then I'm like, oh, I want to play another one.
No, but it's, that it's completely different.
I know this more now, but also I'm always playing something.
Yeah, that's true. And I will also say that a big part of my my modern sensibilities of Chrono Trigger are tempered by Chrono Cross too, if that puts that into perspective for you. But yeah, Bon Kaitos, this is a game you kind of just have to experience, in my opinion. It's a very immersive game. It's slow, though. Play it in an emulator.
I think it's so hard to talk about. It is one of the reasons nobody talks about it.
I've been wanting to make a video about it for a long time, and I just don't want to have to sift through footage. But one thing I will say about this game that I never hear fucking anyone say is that it's a low-key action RPG. You have this change in Origins. This is why I think Eternal Wings is better. You have limited amounts of time to make decisions, and if you are too quick with your decisions, or too slow with your decisions, your combos don't line up, and things get fucked up. And so, there's like an ATB element to it.
Also notable as being outside of the Namco Cross Capcom and Project X Zone games. This is the last thing Monolith Soft made before they relegated themselves to Xenohell.
Yep. So yeah, again, I think we're getting a little long in the tooth with these, so I'm going to try to skip this around. But this is definitely I would say low A for me, but we're putting it in B because Baten Kaitos.
Well, no, I think you should put it in S for shampoo.
You know what? No, S is fine because Arabic, Semitic, or not Semitic, but Arabic adjacent title. Therefore, it wins for me. It's S tier.
It's an S-Syrian.
Fuck. All right, yeah. So there you go. My cultural relevance. Say one thing about Xenoblade X, Forte.
Best story in the series. That'll get people mad.
Ooh,
Yep.
I don't know, man.
My man, hell yeah.
That's coming
people. It's not. Xenoblade 1 is shown in anime, and people don't want to admit it, and it's good at doing that.
It is.
But X isn't that, and it pissed people off.
Okay, that I 100% agree with. Best thing I could say about X, best exploration in the series, hands down to me.
You don't like Xenoblade 2 field skills.
Oh.
You know what? I don't hate him as much as most people do.
Satan designed Pokemon HMs.
Oh, D757 Gaming, thank you for the raid. We are talking about this very chaotic JRPG tier list. Talking about, just talked about Xenoblade Chronicles X. So yeah, just for a second, I just wanted to get that there because in full chaos form.
Speaking of JRPGs with culture, Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, dude. Yes.
Isn't that
go
on
off?
Here? I think it is.
Yeah, it's right here. Where's this going?
I have not finished it yet, but I'm inclined top of A, bottom of S.
Okay, why is this? Why is this?
So game is way too slow for its own good.
Yeah.
But it feels weird. It feels rare to see a JRPG strike outside of the normal cultural aesthetic tropes of the genre and nail it this hard immediately. Like someone on this team must have been like a Norse Abu. Like
what's the term for that? What is the term for
like Shozo Kaga famously like has like a hard on for Ireland. Someone like that must have been on this team because the aesthetic and cultural references feels grounded in a way that reminds me of like a Vanillaware game. Like this game reminds me of Muramasa in the good ways, not the bad ways.
Yeah. It takes a lot of Vanillaware. I think took a lot from BP. A lot of games.
Yeah.
It's super understated. Its influence, I think, is insanely understated. The fact that to me, this is kind of more what I wanted Tails combat to be because some of the windows for the combos in this game are really tight and like intricate. The problem is the game never really makes you do it, right? Like it never forces that on you or whatever. It just and like being an NX game and just trying to do something a little like look how fucking good those sprites are. I know this is a late game. This is 99, I think. But like, and also super expensive game. That's
oh god, yeah.
It's
funny because 2 is like $20,
right? And this game is like it's super layered, so like a fingerprint could fuck up the whole disc. It's wild. So the PS4 version actually does look this good. It did a really good job of retaining its visuals from the PSP even, but there's like this weird chimeric effect where it takes some of the mobile and the PSP assets. Like, okay, so look at this menu right here. This menu is fucking stretched to shit in the remaster, but the actual field sprites are the same, and they're not upscaled really or anything. So that part looks good. The part that looks good. The
most important stuff was done right, but there's some.
Yeah. And also, if you like the flow of this game, Forte, Saga Frontier, bro. Or Saga in general, man. That is you. Like, there's a lot of that. This game is both way too fucking easy and way too obtuse at the same time, but it ends up being like a 3 out of 10 in difficulty. So
what I'm coming to the realization as we talk about it is kind of like Persona 1. In that there's like a bunch of shit you never have to engage with in this game. It's got like a really cool, unique aesthetic for JRPGs. Also, the PS1 era of JRPGs is when they really started to try to be more mature, and that's to various effects. You know, Final Fantasy is always kind of campy, but Xenogears tried really hard and maybe tried a little too hard at times and is kind of all over the place. But this game and some of Atlus's output in this generation I feel like really handles like some mature ideas a lot better than even some games nowadays.
Dude, this
uh,
game is one of the most like emotionally arresting games that I've played ever. Like
mhm.
the scenarios that this game like they're a little trite at times, sure, but the way that it frames characters and the way that it presents a lot of its themes and like they're not very well answered and purposely so. Like the world sucks, you know, and it's like a lot of times in JRPGs, cultural or social commentary is sort of negated or cheapened by magic and JRPG trope shit. You
Yeah.
know,
Tales
and,
of, tales of, tales
Tales
of.
of, and but this I love it. But this game, like, I feel like it has, like, despite this the basic synopsis of the game being incredibly like straightforward, superficial, whatever, but like dude, just like the writing, the emotional hits, like the way that the game starts out is like brutal,
Oh god, yeah.
like being sold into like slavery and then running away and like fucking dying in a field, bro. It's like it's ridiculous. It's
Also,
ridiculous.
hi Rick, and you played Valkyrie Elysium recently, right?
I did, yeah. I platinumed it and
you,
got kind of sweaty with it.
am I to understand, as Godman is implying that you kind of loathed it?
I don't loathe it actually. I think it's a little. I think it's like a little overhated, but it's a PS3 game. It's literally a
Oh,
PS3
word.
game. For better or worse, actually, just it's a PS3 game. Um, if it was just like an indie PS3 game, that shit would have taken off. But it does actually try to take elements of the series, and I think more so even than Valkyrie Profile 2. Uh, Covenant of the Plume is the closest to Profile 1 though. Um,
I think it was Rolf actually said that I would probably like Profile 2 is maybe even better. I've not
Oh
played it
yeah.
yet though.
Well,
no.
it's
What?
it looks gorgeous. That was the point I made. Like it
Oh
looks
yeah,
great.
I was talking about the aesthetics. I was talking about the
Yeah.
Oh,
aesthetics.
okay, okay. Well, I don't know. I think the first one still looks good, but
I mean,
Silmaria.
I'm horny for desaturated games. This
Right
and
here. Here you go.
speaking of desaturated games,
Yeah, here you go. Here you go. Right there.
Resonance of Fate, baby, let's go.
And thank you all for the follow. I don't think the sound was. I did not hear the sound there, so that's really weird. Very strange.
I have not beaten this game. I've not even played a whole bunch of it, so I really can't say too much about it. But holy shit, this game is about air pollution, and you can fucking feel that in
Oh
this
yeah, it
game.
even
Like,
looks like it.
yeah, and I think that's awesome. I think this game is so insanely cool looking.
Did you play the original or the remaster?
The PS3 version. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I haven't played the remaster yet. Even though I heard it's pretty much the same thing, just like smoother or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I think this game is really pretty. It's like a Pandora's Tower if it had a budget on a different system aesthetically.
yeah,
and
you know what? Yeah, well, it's like okay, so the battle system is like very Star Ocean. Well, I mean, obviously,
yes.
Trias. Um, it's very
Oh, I didn't
Star
know that.
Ocean mixed with like more turn-based stuff. That's a loaded term, but
it's a weird game, mechanically.
oh, dude, it's one of those games that like you need a reference. You need Excel spreadsheet gaming a bit, but for a different reason. You need footnotes. Yeah. It's like a David Foster Wallace gaming, because like it's not like a terribly complex thing in essence. It's just very easy to overcomplicate a lot of its core concepts, and like the whole crafting in this game is like super necessary and involved, and if you don't do it, you're gonna have a time. You're gonna have a fucking time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
DFW gaming.
You almost you said something earlier. It was like looks like a PS3 game, and you kind of had like a derogatory hint to it.
PS3 derogatory. Yeah.
This game aesthetically is like exactly what people hated on the PS3 during its time. The whole gray brown.
Yep.
And obviously people are coming around to it now. But this is PS3 affectionate aesthetically. Like it's got the Zoomer H&M fashion all over the place. It's got the grays and the browns. Good shit.
Yeah, and the character
Sorry.
designs are cool. So I don't like this style, but I think it works really well for this game, right?
Yeah.
And it was a learning process. It reminds me of a lot of the Marvel stuff that was coming out during this time and a little bit earlier that was just like so gray and desaturated. So I definitely have a bit of like a bias against it. But like, you know, it also made games work better because they were just smoother because of those textures, right? And well, dude, this character design is criminal. Criminal.
I think it is interesting how Valkyrie profile is gray cold, and this game is gray dusty, and they're very different feels.
Yeah, it got that generic Middle Eastern filter on it a little bit. You know, like yeah, we got to let you know that we got some Mina folk in here. One last thing about this game, this is the best and worst of Tri-Ace.
Let's see, I'm not very familiar with them as a developer.
Show more jumping and shooting. You want some jump and shoot gaming? So like Tri-Ace big thing, like really easily missable stuff, a lot of extra content, tons of crafting and spending time in menus making things. Really good core combat, but never quite uses the mechanics super well. A little clunky, a big mess. A story that doesn't kind of
yeah, I didn't even finish this game, but its story I was also like already.
Yeah, I heard, and it gets kind of wacky and wild. It gets a little wacky and wild.
Hell yeah.
But I don't really. I'm pretty sure I finished it. Because I remember writing up a big ass GameFAQs post about it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll look for that later. Anyway, next game on the list, we're gonna go to. Where's this going, by the way?
This one, I don't have any strong opinions. I didn't finish it, but I like it.
No strong opinions means mid C. Why not?
Right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Easy S rank. Put SQ and S, please.
Wait,
SQ?
which one?
SQ. I'm sorry, Etrian Odyssey.
Oh, okay. All right.
There you go.
Okay. We're at
At the very
top of
obviously.
this.
very top. This is biased because this. Wait, hold on. Maybe if we did this because SA comes before SH. I think that's fair.
You know, Roth is in the deep shit because he called it SQ.
What is SQ?
Fucking losing the words here.
Something Q.
Yeah. So you know how Persona Q is called Persona Q, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Japanese title of the series is Shin Sekaiju no Meikyu,
Oh,
and
I see.
Q is KYU, but they stylize it as a Q.
Ah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, this is the single best mechanical like framework for a series of JRPGs in the whole genre. Full stop. 100%.
Ooh.
And it's so good that they basically did almost no gameplay innovation for like 9 games after this.
Yeah.
And it still owns. The Etrian 1 is like maybe the least polished game in the series. 2 is not very polished either. But I put it on here over all of the other games, which I enjoy playing more, because the series kind of has a big twist, and this game builds, and I think it's a really impactful twist, and this game builds to it way better than all the other ones.
Interesting. I played the first. Wait, I played 1 and 2, and then 4.
4 is really cool. I like 4. That was my favorite.
I think 4 was.
No.
I didn't finish 1, I don't think. Also, I was pretty averse to dungeon crawlers at the time.
I was too. This is the game that woke me up.
I don't know what did. I think replaying Phantasy Star 1 when I was like 17 kind of did. Which is weird.
Yeah, that is a funny game.
I don't know why. But like that being said, this is a secret. This is like a latent Joie game because I think it's because like despite not being into the genre, despite like not really understanding it, and like this is during a time I played this game when it first came out, so this is during a time where I had like a lot less patience. I was just like, I was either full sweat or I wanted it to be free. And the fact that I stuck with this game and played multiple games in the series despite that, I think there's something here that I missed, that I did not go, I did not fully appreciate, and I really want to go back to the series and play through it now as an adult.
And since you've beaten the game, you know the twist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I can comfortably recommend any game in the series. Play Untold 2 Classic Mode.
Okay.
It's like mechanically a really tight experience. It's really fun. The map drawing is like the obvious mechanic here that sets this series apart. And that map drawing is really cool, giving like a like not super impactful mechanically system to the player to directly interface with themselves is like, I can't think of another mechanic in a game that's like this. It's insanely cool. But that is not why Etrian is as good as it is. To me, the dungeon crawling here is like the most thoroughly considered I've seen level design be in a JRPG. And the systems that like that pull you between the town and the maze are like very Western RPG in a good way. Like they're very focused on like making like a tight gameplay loop. That's like entirely player led. Like this game's awesome. I love this game so much. Also, the 3DS games aesthetically are insanely peak. You have to get past Yuji Himukai's character designs.
There you go.
But Yuzo Koshiro OST with a
I was gonna
full
say.
with like fucking live instruments for Yuzo Koshiro, he absolutely like and even the FM soundtracks for the DS games are amazing. And then the way the labyrinth is rendered, especially in the 4th generation of games, so 4 and the 2 remakes, are just gorgeous. I love this series so much.
Yeah, this is definitely on my like, because again, I've only played 3 games in the series, and it's definitely like a series I really want to scrimble at some point, and I definitely want to go back and like apply 30-year-old brain thoughts to, you know. So I don't really have much else to say about that, but I will say this is a good segue into Phantasy Star because dungeon crawling. Have you played this, Forte?
No, I know almost nothing about Phantasy Star. This is quintessentially a boomer game. Like
Okay.
I've never heard anyone under the age of 30 talk about this game.
So you're not wrong, but I will say that I'm curious as the only man. I want to get on some diatribe about SMT and like why this game for some reason it gets, but it's true that like the old boomer Sega games like did get kind of shoehorned into this like weird corner, or not shoehorned, but like literally
no,
brushed into the corner.
that's true. Nintendo YouTubers did it.
Yeah, Nintendo, among other things, yeah, and it's like Shining in the Darkness, bro. Holy fuck, that game did insane strides for dungeon crawlers and Western and the synthesis of Western and Japanese RPGs that no one ever really talks about. And Phantasy Star was like, bro, this shit was doing like Dragon Quest 2, Dragon Quest 3, maybe not Dragon Quest 3, more like Dragon Quest 2, FF2 stuff, right at the same month as FF1. Like the setting was insane.
Contemporary, and it really punched at the same weight as those other series. But I think speaking as like a cringe piss baby zoomer, I have a very strong aversion to Genesis aesthetics. I like some power metal, but I don't like my games being power metal-y.
Right.
Phantasy Star doesn't have an aesthetic that I'm entirely averted to, but it has an aesthetic that made me go, but I could play something else, you know? And I want to get to Phantasy Star now that I've like so thoroughly immersed myself in the genre. but also like I've played so many deep cuts at this point, and it took me this long to decide maybe I should play Phantasy Star. You know?
Right. And and in a lot of ways, it's gonna feel like a retread too. And this is actually a real. I found a good frame here because this is clearly a Jawa. You know, like this is obviously a Jawa, and it's not even trying to hide it. You know, like at all. And that's fantasy. That's a little bit of Phantasy Star. It was a very big amalgam of a lot of things, and because of that, it's not really going to do anything differently for you. It's more so like the vibe of Phantasy Star is just so unique and and it changes so much between the 4 games.
And the influence and the people who worked on these games are all over the legacy of the genre, like from this point on. And it doesn't ever get talked about because nobody's played these games. I haven't played them either, but I've become familiar enough by listening to other people talk that I'm like, oh yeah, that's important, and Phantasy Star did that first. Like,
right. I
hear mostly about the 3rd game, I think.
No, the 3rd one's that's a problem. That game is a bit of an issue. That's a JRPG. Derogatory.
More like gay RPG.
No!
It's okay, I'm allowed to.
I mean, I'm just saying that this was sitting right here. I'm just, that was sitting right there. You could have just easily done that. But Phantasy Star, I think, is just, and I hate the word satisfying because it means nothing, right? Like it's two feels based.
No, I get what you mean though. Like Dragon Quest 1 is satisfying the same way.
Yeah, but I think that this is Phantasy Star embarrasses Dragon Quest 1.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I'll take any opportunity to shit on Dragon Quest.
I love Dragon Quest. I like my my JRPG fast food, but Phantasy Star, where is it? A for fantasy? Fantasy?
No, C tier.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, yeah.
No, I'll put it above. I'll put it above Chrono Trigger just because I like putting stuff above Chrono Trigger.
Okay, well, luckily it's still up here. So, you know what? I'm just gonna do this for chaos. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'll save my veto for later.
Okay.
It's awesome. Anywhere I put something on this list, I'm like, yes, it's above that, but no, it's above that.
Dude, that's life is a balancing act. The tier logic is word association. Okay, so speaking of Mick JRPG, oh, you know what? No, fucking Dragon Quest. Let's go.
Yeah. This is exactly what I was hoping.
You chose this, and I was kind of confused.
I fucking hate this game.
I hate this game too.
I never felt like I had wasted my time on a video game more than I did with this one.
Oh man, okay, all right.
I didn't finish it. I should be clear. Maybe it becomes like the God game and like deconstructs like fucking Xenogears by the end of it.
No,
but nothing in this game felt like it had any purpose. In a similar way to Fantasy Life, but this is fucking Dragon Quest. Like this is the series. This is the series everybody is always talking about. They're like these are the God games, bro. This is true JRPG at its purest form. And it's like I cannot think of a single positive thing to say about this game. I don't think it looks good. I don't think it sounds good. Damn. I don't think it plays well. It's definitely not written well because you make all your own fucking party members.
I like that though. I love that aspect.
No. I put Etrian Odyssey on because Etrian Odyssey does that too, and I like it there. But like in a game that has no mechanical substance like this one, what am I doing with my named party, like the party members I came up with? I'm mashing A with them. Like there's no unique play story for your characters in this game. It's like, oh, this is my friend Michael, he's a monk, I hit A with him. Oh, this is my friend Darren, he's a knight, I hit A with him. There's nothing about this game I like.
Oh my god, there's that like super Molgoth thing that like a lot of people say that they think is like really funny. It's like, oh, maybe the friends that we made along the way, maybe X was the friends that we made along the way, but I really want mashing A. Maybe the journey is about the friends we mash along the A. I feel like that's my innovation. But no, that's so good, dude. I mean, okay, I don't disagree with any of that. Like, I love Dragon Quest. a big part of it, like any fucking one else is gonna say, it's good JRPG comfort food, but it fucking is, man. Sometimes you need your combo. You need your fries, your burger,
Yeah.
your
I mean,
fast food.
I'm a large man. I eat a lot of McDonald's.
You know, we do what we gotta do to get by. And but no, I think this game, okay, so I have to say, this is probably my top 5 Dragon Quests, maybe 6.
Oh, ew! Come on, this
Bro,
one?
the freedom, I get it. I just, it gives me happiness. I don't know, but I never did the multiplayer stuff. I never really. I wish
forgot to
would've.
mention. I do know that this game has like multiplayer stuff that you were supposed to do. My friend tried to get me to do it when I was little. After we saw the ads with Cole Sprouse in it.
He was GQ grooming you.
But
this man said no.
This game feels like a game that was made for multiplayer, and then I was forced to play it single player. It feels unfinished when you play it alone.
So I really like the experience, but like I will say that like I can't really imagine it like mechanically making it any better, because like it's just gonna like make your characters overpowered or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's kind of, maybe I'm wrong. Somebody can correct me. But I know that they added a lot of maps and shit. So where's this going? C?
D? Are you serious? What?
D for
I'd put
Dragon
a D.
Quest. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
For me, this is probably like up here somewhere. But
Yeah, I mean, you like it a lot more than me, and I like. There's a world where I can understand someone liking this, but I will never have an ounce of sympathy for this game. Especially when it's like, if it was like Dragon Quest with friends or whatever, like that was the title, I'd be yeah, whatever. It's like 4 swords for Dragon Quest.
Did you play 5?
Fans.
Did you play DQ 5?
I played like an hour of it, and then my copy literally caught my DS on fire.
Holy fuck! Because to me, that's the only Forte DQ. The only Forte.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's gonna be amazing to you. I just think that you'd be like, oh, that was a pretty good game. You know.
I hear it in talks with FE4 of all games, so I'm like, I should probably check that out. I adore FE4.
Yeah. I see it.
Damn it! We almost sent the whole video without bringing up Fire Emblem or Pokemon.
I think I mentioned it earlier, but I got away with it. Okay, so I purposely avoided all these Super Nintendo games because you were ducking on boomers. So but
see, I like a lot of these.
But so let's talk about Star Ocean, because C tier's. Yeah, you did. C tier is looking a little bit dry right now. Do you think this is a C tier game?
You're meaner than I was.
No. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking. Where would you put this?
So Star Ocean, in my experience with the series, is playing pretty much all of 1 and playing like 4 hours of Integrity and Faithlessness.
Oh, that's okay.
Which I don't know which number that is, because this series is
5.
funny. 5. Okay. First of all, hard subtitle, but
yeah.
This game is like, what if Tales of was cool? And that's impressive, because Tales of Fantasia was cool. Yep. But this game is just like the cooler version of Tales of.
Dude,
it shows that the creatives of Tales of left to make this game. Like,
it's so pretty, man. Look at all those blues and teals and shit.
And it has fucking voice acting on the Super Nintendo, and the combat system is like pretty fun, all things considered. I mean, this game is not like making me question my like life philosophy like some later entries in the genre would, and its combat isn't as polished as something like fucking, I don't know, something else. But I don't know. I have a lot of affection for this game. It's ambitious as hell and lands more of that than it should.
Yeah. And this is because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I like shitty sci-fi a lot.
Yeah.
And this game is a huge influence on it, because I don't think JRPGs ever really go super deep into social commentary in a way that, like, Jesus, most
of the time they don't.
I can't really think of too many examples. And granted, this game doesn't really either, but like
SRPGs do more than JRPGs.
True. Yeah, and I appreciated that kind of, because using sci-fi, Star Trek-esque sci-fi as a vehicle for storytelling begets a little bit of social commentary because you're dealing with
Yeah.
the concept of culture and development and whatever. And I think that was really cool. This game also really, I felt like this game tried to do fighting game inputs more than Tales of
Yeah.
Fantasia did.
Yeah.
Like
I'd
more
agree
of a
with that.
fighting influence, I think. And
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot I could say about this other than I really like the saga, like scenarios stuff where things are a little emergent and you go to different towns and like this thing happens. But the front loaded story really hurts it because the front loaded story is great and then it's really hard to care about like a lot of other things that seem like completely arbitrary in the grand scheme of the story.
Mhm.
And
As I understand, it does come together pretty hard by the end,
it does, yeah.
but there's just like a gap.
Yeah, and I would also recommend playing, even though the aesthetic of the Super Famicom one is untouchable. And this is actually, it's kind of, if you kind of look at a lot of the designs, it's kind of Resonance of Fate Super Famicom.
Oh my god, you're so woke. You're
but
so woke.
but juxtaposed with like Bankaidos. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Um,
This
but,
is like weird, like space culture, but not sci-fi. Like,
right. Yeah, because JRPG.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I would play First Departure if I were you. If you were not really.
I actually do have that on my shelf, but I have said many times, SNES RPG, derogatory, Super Famicom RPG, affectionate. Like, and this game is one of the games that made me realize that.
That's why I put Chrono Trigger above SMT2, just to like make you hate everything that you're doing for the next hour. So
yeah, no, every time we come back to the screen, I look at it.
No, there's a couple. The Kingdom Hearts being here fucks me up, man. I don't know. Like, there's this being here just fucks me up,
dude. This list is too boomer, even though SMT4 and Xenoblade X are at the top. Just because Phantasy Star is above so high.
I still don't like. Oh man, one day Phantasy Star is gonna get that resurgence, and then people are gonna start looking at it like, oh, like,
what do you mean?
Ain't
that the MMO series, bro?
I don't want to talk about PS. That game is a fucking spreadsheet. That is 100% a spreadsheet.
It looks like it.
It looks like it. It plays like it. The gameplay becomes irrelevant to the spreadsheet. You don't even mash A because it's hard to mash A. You have to press up, down A. Sucks. Where's Star Ocean going? Right here? Or higher? It looks kind of.
Cool with that.
This looks really good together. These two colors. So we're gonna do that.
I agree. I think it's tragic how low Pandora's Tower has ended up.
You know what? Yeah, just because we'll just do that. It looks better under SMT2.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
All right. Speaking of Super Nintendo cringe RPGs, right here. Come on.
Wait, which one?
FF6.
It's pretty cringy.
Oh yeah, we still have another one. Yeah. Okay, so like,
two more actually.
It is the first Final Fantasy game that feels whole to me. And FF5 fans jump down my dick and balls every time I talk like that. Yeah. And like, I get it. FF5 is a cool game. And it probably is mechanically stronger than 6 or whatever. But yeah, this game, it's like the first Final Fantasy that pulls its like aesthetic and narrative ideas into something more than cool ideas, I feel like. Its story is way punchier than pretty much anything Square or Enix put out on the console, I feel like. Yeah, I think this game's really cool. I don't disagree with this game being one of the GOATs, even if I don't particularly get appealed to by some of its qualities.
I think this is your most mainstream take. I think this is your top 40 take. Top 40?
Yeah.
And I agree, because FF6 is one of my favorites, but I think the reason why is the music and the character. I love the character writing in this game. It's so sick. It's one of my favorites.
So do you specifically like the Woolsey character writing?
I do like the Woolsey thing, but I also think
just in general.
Yeah, but I do think people my age are fucking like love to dick ride Woolsey because it's nostalgic. It's 90s. the night when
Yeah.
they made good games, you know. In
So
the
I
night-
played this game in Japanese before as well, and like I'm glad I did that because it made me like I like the Woolsey script, but
Mhm.
playing it in Japanese made me get enough out of the characters that I could just enjoy the Woolsey script for being fun, you know?
Yeah, and so we didn't, you know, you're talking about like who question mark JRPGs. Lunar is a really good touchstone for localization and translation because the working design scripts for those games are incredibly different than the bone dry Japanese ones. And like, dude, you would put Lunar like straight D. I know you at this point, but like, I do think that those games are historically interesting to think about from a localization standpoint. Are we okay with putting FF6 up here?
Yeah, I
You want to
think
move it around? You know what? Here,
I think I'd put it to the right of Saga just because it looks better.
Oh, okay. That's fair. All right. We want to boomer up, or we want to zoomer up the list a little bit. So
Yeah, and we got 2 Atlas games on top, bro. I'm winning.
Okay, what's next? Front Mission.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, is there one that you wanted to?
No. Front Mission.
Okay,
Totally
Front
works.
Mission. All right. So Front Mission. Did you play the Super Famicom one, or did you?
Yeah, I played it and I save stated often because it kept fucking up. Similar story with another game on this list that I'm sure you can guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this game. This is right in that niche of classic SRPG that got remade during the DS PSP era, and people tell you to play the DS PSP version, and like I get it, but I think there's a lot of merits to this Super Famicom original that are like unique and interesting. I think if you're interested in the genre at all, you should play this game. I think it's like that good. It's all
yeah.
I think this is typical for SRPGs to be a little ahead of JRPGs in writing, and I think this game is like maybe the best written SRPG on the system. Maybe that might be
bro. Tactics.
Is that a hot take?
Tactics.
Yeah, no. Tactics Ogre is the other debatable one, but they're both really fucking good.
Yeah, I think this game has the concept over TO for sure.
Well, so it's like how Metroidvanias, they immediately stumbled into the 2 best settings for the genre in like the horror nightmare and Alien Planet.
Yeah.
War games immediately became mechas or medieval fantasies.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great fit. Obviously, this game spotted it a lot earlier than other people. Also, fucking the staff for this game is insanely goated. Amano.
The Amano art. Look at the Gun Hazard. So this game had a spin-off sequel. It's not Front Mission 2, but it's called Front Mission Gun Hazard. It's a 2D side scroller with RPG.
Artist title of all time, by the way.
So
Gun
sick,
Hazard.
dude. Gun Hazard. Hell yeah. So the composers for that game are fucking insane. Just Google it. Just Google the composers.
Hold on.
Front Mission Gun Hazard.
Gun Hazard composers.
Operator. So actually, funny enough, this is the Resonance of Fate in 2D.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, I was like Mitsuda, I was like, okay. And I was like, Uematsu, I was like, that's a lot. And then Hamazu, and then Nakano.
Yeah, like, I think that was his first Squaresoft game too. Nakano. So
that's insane.
Or maybe it was Hamazu's first one. But yeah, Front Mission is okay. Remember when I was talking about how I like the concept of remakes because it makes me look at other games, the original version. It gives different perspectives. This game got like unnecessarily remade like 4 times. Fucking the Wonder Swan color, DS, PS1, and then the Front Mission first. And they like pretty much all play the same. This game is like so bare bones mechanically. I could see why somebody would. This game gets by on its cool factors so hard with gameplay, but it's a
Squaresoft game.
Right, yeah, definitely. Naughty Dog. But no, there is like there is some big brain elements of it. but like as a whole, it was definitely challenging to a lot of contemporary ideas about what RPGs were, coming out, and especially SRPGs, because that was a super budding genre at this time.
Yeah, like there's an interview actually with Sakaguchi and Shozo Kaga, and obviously Sakaguchi I don't think worked on this game.
No.
But they talk about Front Mission in the interview briefly because it's like a through line. And Kaga talks about he talks about this game like it's like one of the first like handful of other games in the genres that have a production value comparable to Fire Emblem. And that's insane because Fire Emblem had no production value at the time.
No, yeah, almost, yeah. That game was like a fucking dust and glue.
Yeah. So, and this game fucking comes out swinging with its aesthetics. I mean, Amano art, the sprites for the mechs are really sick. This game is also maybe the grayest Super Famicom game.
Oh yeah, oh for sure, for sure. And what would you recommend people play then? Because you kind of briefly touched on this a little bit, but what would you say is the?
So if you're like a zoomer, play the DS version. And like the DS version don't play the Switch version. It's not as bad as people are acting like it is. It's
the
pretty
same
cool.
game. It's the exact same game. It just looks worse.
Like aesthetically, it's not as bad as people are saying. But play the DS version. He said it before FE3 was out. This was an interview to hype FE3. But if you can tolerate, also the DS version has a better script, I think. If you can tolerate some boomerisms, I always recommend playing the original versions of games.
Yeah, I do too. But I would say DS is the best overall package because it actually has the extra scenario and a couple added gameplay stuff, but it also makes it even easier. So I don't know. Let's move to a game I believe.
It's hard to play the original version of.
God. I'm gonna say it. I think this is a hot take among a lot of people, but this is D, bro.
Wait, what game?
No.
Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey sucks. No. It's so mid.
I just assumed we were gonna go from the one Square SRPG to the other SRPG on the list.
That makes sense, doesn't it? But I was trying to.
You were about to diss Tactics Ogre in my brain. I was like, "What is gone?"
No, because I have a connection between Tactics Ogre and Vagrant Story, so I was saving that one.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's good. I like the analysis.
I am surprised by your Lost Odyssey take. I got to hear your argument first.
So, you know what? This is a game that I don't really have a lot of strong memories of. I played it when it came out. I was super stoked for it because I was like, kind of. I didn't hate FF13 when it came out, but I've appreciated it more over time. But like when I definitely, because this came out around the time of After Years, I think. And I was like in an FF4 phase then, which I kind of regret. Because I think FF4 is a little lower mid. Yeah, it's not that good. I still love it. It's Final Fantasy, good ass game, but like, yeah, that's a Mick JRPG for sure. But like, okay, the side stories in this game, the like little novellas, fucking awesome. Those are so good. They are. The battle system, let me find some battles, bro. You want to look at nothing happen? You want to spam A, but have it take 25 minutes to spam A? You play Lost Odyssey. And then,
okay.
What? No.
No, the game feel for this game is very slow.
It's chunky.
Slow, but it's.
I think it's also worth acknowledging how budget this game was.
Was it?
Oh, absolutely. Mistwalker was not raking in the dosh at the turn of the...
Yeah.
And then also this is how are PS360?
Mid 360 era.
Yeah. So all of the middle market was dying at this time. So yeah, this game, I feel like it has a lot of problems, but almost all of them are the consequence of that, which allows me to look past them.
I don't know, man. The combat is just so unengaging to me. Like,
What?
I love timed hits. I'm a timed hit slut. You know, I didn't talk about that in FF8. That was like the big game that was like, ooh, you're putting that in Final Fantasy now. Okay. But like, this game is just, I was pressing buttons, man. I'm like, oh, I'm going to this area. I'm going to this area. I'm pressing the buttons. I don't look at this fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy. This is the main villain of the game. Not this guy.
Yeah, he's my profile pic. Come on.
Look, man, he sucks. Nothing about the story is interesting. It just like abruptly ends. The concept is really cool. It just doesn't go anywhere. The world isn't interesting. It has annoying little kid characters. It's actually a really short story, but it doesn't. It's a game that does not ever prove that it needs to be as long as it is. Like, if this game had like some zest to it, it would have been like a Chrono Trigger length game. But instead, it's like 50 hours, 45 hours or something.
I mean, that it is a certified JRPG in that regard. It is way too
long. And like, there's a lot of similarities between the world exploration in this game and Baten Kaitos. The way the dungeons are laid out are really similar. And like the enemies and stuff. Some of the character designs. See, this is like a little bit more Iron Age-y. But like, I don't know, man. I've yet to really like. I think Sakaguchi was like not like, this is what made me like question a lot of his prowess.
I think you should rewatch some of it, because I feel like you're underselling the story and narrative and stuff. But I do agree that the gameplay is kind of like a lot at times.
Yeah,
a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, again, the side stories, the stuff that was written, like this, that was written by an actual novelist.
Yeah.
Like the first story that you find from Kaim, I think his name is Kaim. Dude, that fucking wrecked me. It's like brutal. It's like Valkyrie It's like Valkyrie Profile, like next gen. That was the kind of feel it had, and then it's like you play the game and there's like JRPG characters for the sake of JRPG characters, and it's like it kind of undersells a lot of what it was trying to do, and yeah, I don't know.
Or go ahead.
I think it has really good encounter design and like good enemy design.
It's been too long for me to say, honestly. But I have heard other people say that.
Okay, you said that's enough to put it in C.
Yeah, I like my gut feel, and I haven't played this game in forever, is B. So I'm cool to compromise on C.
This is also a game that like a lot of people. It's
the cringe agenda of saying this is Final Fantasy 13 needs to die, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Final Fantasy 13 clocks this game. No doubt. Oh, Lost Odyssey. Thank you, Godman.
That was
just
my
about
joke,
to say
Godman.
I was just about to say it. The group think. Also, yeah, that's cringe, and all. There's this kind of, I call it the Live Alive syndrome, where there was a time when people were like, "Bro, Live Alive is so fucking cool." And with Chet Manley 405 and I talked about this, and so I'm using his anecdote to highlight this, but there's like, people are like, oh, well, Live Alive is so cool. Why? Oh, there's like different protagonists and it's like super interesting. Why? Oh, because there's like different protagonists and it's super interesting.
Yeah, it's like they've decided something is cool and have no supplement for that.
Oh, right, like exactly. It's like niche and like I mean, Live Alive is fucking cool. Live Alive probably be like
S.
Yeah, maybe not S. It'd be high B, low A.
I would put Live Alive, and also fuck you for making me say Live Alive. Live Alive.
It's live. It's Live Alive.
Yeah, I know it is, but I've always said Live Alive. And I'm gonna die.
Yeah. I'd same. To me, that made more sense, even in the context of the game. Yeah.
So there's two games I know nothing about on here. And there's two games I have lots of opinions on.
I'm saving this one for last.
Okay, then let's do Illusion of Gaia, because I don't know shit about this game.
You don't know shit about. Okay, so Illusion of Gaia, it's the second game in a trilogy.
This is I feel like the one I hear about Nintendo YouTubers talk about it. I feel.
Yeah, that's a Nintendo YouTuber game. 100%. 100%. So it's like more of I would say like an adventure game than an action game, but it tries to be one of those like live alive, laugh, love. I made that joke on the pod. I think that's the name of the Live Alive podcast that we did. But I think it's the one game that like it tries to integrate different styles. So like, you know, there's 3 different characters. They try to integrate 3 different styles of combat. A lot of the games
I'm recalling this game now.
Is exploration, like also quintet game. You don't need to really, you know how this is gonna look. You know how this is gonna play.
Yeah.
Kind like a little loose, a little too loose. Oh shit! Fuck! I clicked the wrong thing. A little too loose. Sometimes not super tight combat, but it's fun. A lot of like emotional story moments. Really cool like alt history story. Just like I don't know. This game is like. This also tries to do social commentary a little bit. It tries to dig into like class and history and like myth in a really interesting way that was then predicated by not Soul Blazer as much, but Terranigma specifically.
That's the trilogy, right? It's those 3 games.
Yeah, and I agree, Godman. Terranigma clears Illusion, but I think Illusion was just fun to talk about because I needed to throw a 90s kid RPG just to do it.
I will say, I hear this game in the same phrasing as Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. So yes, this is a more action Secret of Mana.
I think I'd like it more than, honestly.
Yeah, you probably would. It's more puzzle based too. It definitely is. Less, for lack of a better word, RPG elements to it.
I'm a Secret of Mana hater, but that's for another time.
Dude, okay, so I love Secret of Mana. Don't blame anyone for hating it. I completely understand. It's not a very good video game, but the music though, the music's a different.
Story. Yeah, I mean the music is insane.
But yeah, I would say Illusion of Gaia, not like a completely amazing game changing thing, but like it's still a really solid experience. I would put this in C.
I'm cool with that.
Again, higher in my own list, but this is not like there's no organization here. This is just feels based. I feel like this is gonna circle around to actually being completely accurate. By the time
well, no, it'll never do that because what's the worst take on this list? The Phantasy Star is so high. There we go.
Oh, God damn.
What's going on there? Well, I guess Vagrant Story is our next game then.
Yeah. Vagrant Story.
This game is so fucking based. Oh my god. I can't think of a thing I don't like about this game off the top of my head.
It's clunky, bro. It's clunky. I love Vagrant. I'm with you on Vagrant Story.
Yes, but the clunk is soul.
Yeah. This man about to go on to a diatribe about King's Field. Watch out. It's happening.
Like everything this game feels like in service of making me feel miserable in a good way. Like this story is like fucking dark and like also it's another game that feels mature in like a actual way on the PS1 as opposed to like Final Fantasy VIII mature, where it's a Hollywood movie with emo-ness. Yes. I mean, obviously that's kind of like Matsuno's like trademark is like all of his games are like very grounded in a lot of history in a way that makes them like feel punchier. This game is also like a dense system nightmare, like a couple other games we've talked about.
Yeah. Dense system.
But I kind of love that. I don't know. I really like this game. I like this game a lot.
DSN, the DSN 5. This game is like one of the coolest because this is like this is 99, I think. This came out. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, 99. This came out before Valkyrie Profile, but I could be wrong. Either way, look at the fucking UI. Look at that UI. That's beautiful. The game looks like early PS2. Looks better than a lot of early PS2 games.
This game is this is the game Hideo Kojima was jealous of the presentation.
Yeah, and you see
Is
it.
it? I
It's
believe
so
it's this game.
it's so good. Like the targeting system, the I guess like movement of the combat was really cool. Even though it's a fucking pure, it's got some N64 to it, you know.
Yeah.
But like it's solid, and you see how it like laid the foundation for a lot of what 12 did, because they're like, ooh, people didn't pick up on this much as they should have.
Your
We
kids are gonna
noticed.
like this one.
You kids are gonna like this one. Now that this is bigger, y'all will like it. And unfortunately, it kind of worked, but yeah, this is
I'm pretty
exactly
sure this exact floor texture is in FF12 somewhere.
yeah, right. It looks like if Parasite Eve had a really cool presentation, like with its fonts and its UI too, though. But this is a super dense game.
Yeah.
And it's like a sweet spot between where, like, it's not one of those games like we were talking about before where it has all these systems that bloat the game that are really cool that you don't ever have to use. It's like a really good middle ground. Like, you'll get clocked if you don't use certain things and know how certain things work, but you also can't just ignore it all either, right?
Yeah, it's a really considered tight little experience, like, in my opinion. Also, the character design in this game is so weird, and I love it.
Ashley Riot, baby, strangest. Can we get like a good?
Yeah, please get a picture of my goat up.
The shoes,
it's
though,
also like kind of short.
Yeah, it's not long. It's like 25 hours, something like that. It's been a while since I played it. Oh, also, the text boxes, the like graphic novel text boxes with the Screamo font, bro. The Screamo handwriting font. It's so cool.
The way the cutscene presentation makes me think of Odin Sphere for some reason. I don't know why. Like completely
I guess
different.
I see that. Yeah. The way the camera pans, right? And it like yeah. Also, this is who is the artist who did this in 12 and Tactics?
Yoshida.
Yeah. This like I feel like this is probably the closest that the Yoshida art has looked to the concepts. Like look at that.
It is unfair that this is the like extent we've gotten a Yoshida game like visualized, because this is trapped on the PS1, and obviously it benefits from that in a lot of ways. This game is one of the best looking PS1 games, but we get games that look like Nomura drew them all the time. I wish we I guess this is kind of how Amano fans feel, where they're like, we never got a game that looks like Amano drew it.
But then you have this exact screen cap here. You see this? This is also a Vagrant Story. So
I love trees. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's more so the obfuscation of everything around it, and like
bro, the tree is the game.
That's true. Triple triad. But Vagrant Story is dope. I'm fine with it. I don't think it caps Valkyrie profile personally. But I would say it's a whole a better game to play. Vagrant Story. Thank you, Godman. That's perfect, bro. That is. Oh boy, I'm cool with that. 1 sec. I'm just pulling this up. We're getting close, man. We're almost done.
It has gone a little longer than you expected, I think.
Yeah, and no one said anything, so we just kept doing it. All right, this game is top of mind because I've just replayed Reborn, and you want to talk about art that goes hard and a story that goes hard. This is Tactics,
dude, this is
Ogre.
I was talking about it with my buddy Rick, who has not played this game and doesn't play a lot of these kind of games. And he's like, hardest box art title combination ever.
Yes, and it's a Queen
I'm
reference.
inclined to agree. Yeah, I didn't know it was a clean reference. A Queen reference. But let us cling together. Ogre Battle episode 7. And it's funny because I think the ogre like part of the name is like the corniest part of.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But like somehow, and also that box art is so beyond clean.
It's so
is
good.
No right being that clean. And this game is another game that is like breaks away from its Super Famicomness to be so much more mature than like your FF. It's hard to think FF4 was written on the same system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. The entirety of Rydia's character. Or
Yeah. But she's an adult now. Now you can sexualize her, so it's okay. You have that going for you. But no, this game is like, dude, it's fucking amazing. Even compared to Reborn, the sprites didn't really change that much. Like, I mean, they got Vaseline, sure, but like,
yeah.
What you see is what you get. And granted, this was a super late Super Famicom game, but like this, and
there's more mechanical differences and script differences than I feel visual differences.
Oh yeah, 100%. But even still, the story was still like, the major plot beats are there. They're just like a little bit of juice.
Oh yeah, it's just there's actual room to translate the everything. This game is an absolute fucking nightmare to emulate. My save corrupted no less than 5 times on the Super Famicom version. Yeah, this is another Aeon Genesis translation, I believe.
Oh wow.
Let me make sure about that. But yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, this game's. I want to recommend people play the Super Famicom version. It's so hard.
No. Okay, you know what? Because I'm of the same mind as you about recommending like the OG if you can handle it. But this is a situation. Play One Vision. One Vision is the way. One Vision.
Wow, what is One Vision?
It's like a modded version of the PSP version that like adjusts the balance so like archers aren't like completely unbelievably overpowered.
Like I said earlier, this is another one of the classic SRPG remade in the PSP era that changes a little too much for me to be comfortable with.
And dude, it got changed even more with Reborn. Reborn's a different game mechanically. Like it's a completely different game. And honestly, I think for the worst.
Tactics Ogre.
What's that?
We've ship of Theseus. Tactics Ogre.
Dude, literally though, I swear to God, there's an argument to be made for that. Like it's still it's great.
They'll change the story next time, but still call it Tactics Ogre.
But no, there's a lot to say. This game is a game whose influence is very understated, and it's a quiet game because nobody ever says, "Oh, Tactics Ogre is great," and somebody's like, it's no one's gonna have the Chrono Trigger sucks argument with this game. If someone says this game is good, they're like, yeah, of course it is. Or if someone's like underrated game, Tactics Ogre, yeah, it is.
I think it benefits from all of its flaws being very obvious. Like this game is slow. But like, that you look at this game and it's gonna be slow, so you're able to be like, well, accepting that, what does this game have to offer? And the answer is so much.
I mean, you see the origins of like how these sort of like dense, grindy SRPG systems came into play. Like you look at modern Fire Emblem. This is what a lot of modern Fire Emblem took homage from.
And not to mention, he literally got hired by Square after this game to make basically this but Final Fantasy.
Exactly. That's why I was gonna start with this and end with Vagrant's story, because like we
did backwards shit.
Literally, FF Tactics is just this game for SquareSoft. It's like they literally put Final Fantasy branding on on Ogre writing and Ogre concepts because of Matsuno, and I mean
it became one of the most appreciated things in Final Fantasy. Like,
yep. And this poor game is just sitting here, dude. You know what it reminds me a lot of is like, oh God, what's a really good?
It's funny because people don't even realize this isn't a Square game; it's a Quest game.
Yeah, it's a Quintet game. Yeah, I mean, I guess now it is.
Quintet or Quest?
Oh, this is Quest. This is Quest because it was Ogre. But the comparison I make is this is Let the Right One In, or Let the Right One In, and then FF Tactics is the remake. Maybe that's not a great comparison. I don't know. There's something there about movie remakes. I don't know. I'm flying off the hip. But yeah, this game fucking rips. I would personally suggest you play the PSP version or the One Vision's the best, but the PSP version is just snappier. It's broken. but like the translation is actually pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, it's similar to FF Tactics in that regard. The translation on PSP is like whoa.
Yep. Also, is this game hard? The Reborn can be. Reborn is definitely the hardest version. I'll say that much.
So basically, the games would be hard, but there's like 2 or 3 things in both of the other versions that just like snap them over the kneecap. You know.
Yep. I agree. Like
Where are we putting
archers.
this game?
Where are we putting Tactics Ogre? Where'd I put it? I put it up here. Tactics S. If it was just Tactic Ogre, it would
I'm
be...
just blind.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Also, the box art. Wait.
I'd personally put it above FF6 even.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, there's some. Oh, that actually looks. Wait, does that look better? You know what? I think this actually looks better on the right side, so we'll go with that.
Bet.
Bet. All right, last one, because you have not played this.
It's East for normies. Perry.
Wait, but that's been the same thing since 7, bro.
Yeah, but that was on what, PSP?
PSP, yeah. This game clocks 7.
PSP has no games.
No, this is one of the best East games, but it's symptomatic of a lot of problems. So I'm putting this up here.
No.
I don't know shit about Yeez, so I actually, this is where I'll announce it. At some point in the future, Yeez marathon stream.
Let's do it.
I'm doing it.
I'm there.
I'm gonna sit down and play all of Yeez 1 in one session.
This man messaged me at 3 a.m. and was like, "Dude, should I play the PC-88 version of Yeez?" And then I was like, "Okay, let me tell you why maybe you shouldn't." And it was like he had already made up his mind before he asked me this question, but he wanted validation. And man, this game is okay. So part of me thinks that like this game pisses me off because it oversaturates items and it actually just over centralizes items, I should say. No, Tony, you didn't play the PC-8. You played the TurboGrafx version. That's a remake of PC-88. Yeah, the PC Engine you played. But yeah, so like there's a lot of like boy, big anime flashes going off in this game. It's so fucking like tropey anime for sure. But like I don't know, man. You play this shit on Nightmare, it feels like a character action game, man. I swear to God. Like it's I don't know. You see what I'm getting at though? You get it?
No, it plays like Metal Gear Rising. So
okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Chill on, old boy.
I like Metal Gear Rising though.
I do too. Even if I'm aware.
Yeah.
I think this game looks fun to play, and that's not something I ever say about JRPGs.
Wow.
Even when they are fun to play, because like you look at like Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, that does not look fun to play, right?
And sometimes it is, but like this game, like the way everything looks real snippy and cool. Also, this is the most PS2 grass I've seen in a bit.
And this is the PS4 version too. I guess it was a Vita game, so
that's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, but the PS4 version
on the street
clocks it. Yeah, it's not even worth. It's just really responsive. It's fast. It's kinetic. Which I think carries over from the bump games. Yeah, it's imbalanced. The translation had woes. It's very anime, but like the flow, the loop, the themes of the story, dude. This story is really good. I never say that about anime stories.
I feel like I'd like Adol a lot. That's his name, right?
Yeah. Or I think technically it's Adol, or okay. It's like pronounced like Adol, but like. It gets muddied. It's like a made up name anyway. It's a Filoni name anyway.
He seems like I have never seen his design from like the very first Yeez game, but he feels like a 80s fantasy character who didn't wear pants at one point, and I like that about him.
Yeah. That's a strong Link energy for sure.
Yeah, Marth was my
Marth, Marth too. Yeah.
Or Pit from Kid Icarus, I guess.
Like, look at this motherfucker, this fedora wearing bayonet slanging motherfucker.
Oh, dude, my goat already.
But no, this game is simple. It's not like complicated, but sometimes that works really well. And I think that, this isn't going to scratch the same DMC or Bayo 1 itch that a lot of like action RPGs try to really do. But I don't know. There's something about the story. The whole like themes of his adventures are really cool. This island setting is great. The music is fucking phenomenal in this game. It's so good.
It's honestly probably better that it doesn't try to be that action game, because the only action RPG I can think of that pulls off something like that well is KH2. That's like the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely top tier up there for me. Scarlet Nexus is not. Scarlet Nexus wants so badly to be that, but it's But
would you say this game is comfy?
I hate that word, but yes, it definitely is. It just not just the setting, like the whole like. Okay, so the concept is like you're on an island and you're building up. Oh, thank you for. Oh, hey, Nervous, thank you, dude. Fuck yeah, I was actually gonna raid you, but then this went on longer. We're just wrapping up our tier list discussion, talking about Ys 8, which I hopefully you finished Sonic Frontiers. That was the time in your life.
No, you rated at the perfect time because we get to go over the full tier list here right at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a perfect time. Yeah. No more Sonic tears, which is Anyway, so yeah, no, like the island setting, you're building up your dudes, your townsfolkmen, and a big part of it is just like the collecty fun running through the areas, picking up the little sparkly bits, the fucking like overly saccharine, completely vapid aspects of game design that JRPGs are full of, but kind of work sometimes. And then there's these like Musou, I don't fucking Dynasty.
Musou is correct.
Yeah. Cool, Musou. So basically, this is the worst part of the game. You have to do these like the waves where you just like the enemies are like not scaled. So you fucking just rip into them. And there's like buffs like there's something fun about the power fantasy of it, but it loses its luster real fast. And Musou, yeah, okay. But that's the worst part of the game. That's like one of the only real major negatives. It starts off on a terrible anime trope. About like,
oh, we love that.
There's a part early in the game. You know what? Maybe I'll just like click.
Are Ys fans the type to get mad about anime?
In what way? Like
the way Fire Emblem fans do.
Yes.
Okay.
You thought Ys 8 was a little like, yeah, I could see that too. I could see the length. It does because the PS4 one also added stuff too. But no, I think, dude, a lot of Ys fans, there's Ys boomers, which are awful. And then there's Ys zoomers, which are equally as awful, but cummy. So,
yeah. So to the dogs they go.
Yeah, and also I said that right when I looked at Rio's name, and I saw "Come Rio." I'm sorry, Rio. That just would happen. Oh boy. Ooh, God, why did I say that out loud? But like, but no, I think that there's definitely a horniness to a lot of the Falcom games. So dude, you are definitely a boomer. But you're a, what is it? Like a transcendental boomer, Nervous. So
I'm gonna let you know right now what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna play every version of Ys 1 in release order. And then I'm going to become a Ys Zoomer.
That's a fucking interesting trajectory.
Just for maximum psychological damage. Like,
please
I'll
don't.
Be like, yeah, bro. Oath and Feglana mid, more like, where's my tsunderes? Yeah.
PC 98, the only way to play. If you ain't floppy, then you ain't Ys, baby.
When are they porting Ys 9 to the PC 98?
Well, actually, hold on. There we go. Wait, there we go. All right. Like I could have done more with that. It was in the moment.
Oh my god! Yeah, you can't say that
X68
joke
for
out
it with
loud.
the God, no! Please don't play all versions of Ys 1 right away, man. Just play
What I
one
imagine
or
I'll do
two.
is I'll probably play just the series in release order and hit the remakes when they came out. You know?
That's good. That's actually good. You kind of go back and you like you try a little bit of everything and then you go back to the dish that you end up probably liking the most.
Yeah.
But how we feeling? This one a little bit long. How we feeling about this arbitrary and reductive tier list that doesn't make any fucking sense at all? Kind of.
I think what you should do, we should
Mhm.
keep this tier list and we should slowly turn it into all JRPG tier list.
Just like slowly add to it over time.
Yeah. So like we do another stream in a couple weeks and we do like 15 more, 15 more, 15 more, and then slowly it
Okay.
becomes.
Okay.
Like,
I'm down. I'm 100. Next time it has to be 15 and not 30 though, for sure. 'Cause
yeah,
that's
this
just
took
too
3
many.
hours.
Yeah, that's too many. All right. One last thing from both the chat and you guys. What do you think is your biggest grievance with the tier list, and what is the thing you're most happy with this tier list?
Oh, biggest grievance. I'm trying to think. Is it something that's overset or something that's overplaced or underplaced?
Whichever one hurts you more.
Fantasy Star. I've played that, man. That's not a game. Don't even.
You said that, dude. It's a never mind. Mr. Scarlet Nexus.
Can you do me a favor real quick?
Yeah.
Can you make an F tier real quick?
Yes. Yes.
Can I add a? Oh yeah, wait. Add a row below. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you drag Tales of Symphonia?
Oh, but I kind of want to do this too. But it's
But now it's like a nice pyramid. We have dude. It's like almost perfect. Oh man. Yeah. Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
A Sonic Dark Brotherhood. No, that would be the very. I beat that game.
I would put that game over Tales of Symphonia.
No way, bro.
No.
Come on. No.
Dude, that
that's
OST is at least interesting.
You can't put a
what
BioWare
people
game on a JRPG list.
Oh, true. Thank you for giving me my out.
That was a good one. Any close? My biggest thing is actually this is nothing what I would actually make of these games, but they're I think my biggest grievance is actually pretty happy with S, even though I haven't played SMT4.
My biggest grievance is actually that SMT2 and Chrono Trigger are like comparable.
Yeah. There's
actually the top part of the list. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Phantasy Star's a little weird, but I can't even argue. But the farther down, like right in the middle of the list, I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
I think Bravely Default's too high. I think.
I think that's way too low. I put Bravely Default above Racing Lagoon.
Wait.
Yeah, Persona 1, baby.
Huh. Interesting. Well, this was a lot of fun. I hope nobody takes this too seriously. You know, this is honestly a very...
No, please take it seriously. Also,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't use Twitch a lot. Our tags right now are RPG Maker, Retro, Iraq, Anime. I feel like I missed something.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory.
The Iraq tag is something there's no Assyrian Iraqi Assyrian. There's no Assyrian tag, so I have to go with Iraq. And it started to become a meme.
I'm sorry, I didn't even.
So that's why it's there.
I was like, okay, word. One of these games I just didn't realize.
Well, no, it's definitely there for a meme because I think like making, I don't know, tags of like your ethnicity, like especially like that's kind of lame, and I just think it's funny, you know, like 'cause when Kelly streams off here, sometimes I'll put that tag on her stream.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, Iraq, Mississippi, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Actually, what Wes said is perfect. The tier list is similar to George W. Bush's handling of the Iraq conflict.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, this is a lot of fun. Again, I just want to remind people that this was just a thinly veiled reason to get some buds to talk about RPGs and drop some takes and just have fun and like. Don't take this tier list seriously. Do not. It's kind of.
Or if you do take it seriously, tweet it at my Twitter. Please voice all complaints to the Twitter I just posted in the chat.
Yeah. There we go. Can we pin? I think I could pin that now.
Please complain at me. I will argue with you on Twitter until the heat death of the universe.
At Godman Antelope. That's
yes.
Oh boy. Oh man. So this is a lot of fun. Thank you guys again. If follow us on the Twitch over here, our Twitter links and all that stuff are here. I think we have. What do we have next? Let me pull up the retro schedule thing. This is Tuesday. This is.
I mean, next was Ryoku's spot that you stole from him.
Well, that was a feels-based spot. If we, there's that we couldn't do anything about it. Hold on, let's go here. Yeah, this was open. We moved this back. Ryoku, if you want to stream for a half hour or an hour, go for it, bro. Knock out a Contra. After that, maybe we have like a questionable nebulous hour-long spot, and then we're doing Blade Runner with the PC version of Blade Runner, not to be confused with the PC 88 version of Blade Runner, with Jack. And then we're doing Unlimited Saga at 9 o'clock, which is not technically part of our arbitrary reductive definition of retro. And then Legend of Zelda for NES. Raph, you're on that stream, right?
That's why my name's there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was rhetorical, bro. Fucking chill. Relax.
What?
Relax.
I thought there was a scheduling conflict. I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh, dude, I wish I could. I've been streaming for like 5 hours now. But yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for coming to hang out. Thank you for the raids. That's really appreciated. Nervous and the other. There's like 2 other raids in here, and all the new follows and all the wacky bullshit that we got into. Thanks for encouraging this and enjoying and contributing to the chaos. Maybe we'll make this something that we do a little bit more often. Forte and Raph, if you guys are down, that would be a lot of fun.
Down.
Cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so stay tuned on the channel. Ryoku, hopefully going live. I'm actually not going to raid anybody because nobody's really on right now that I can see. So just stay tuned on the channel, and in like 5-10 minutes, there'll be something else on here. And come hang out with us for the rest of the week. We got Romancing Saga tomorrow. We got Secret of Evermore, the RPG podcast, Time Commando, all this stuff over here. This is all good shit. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come hang out. Say hello, join the Discord, and be annoying. Post pictures of your dog. I don't fucking know. Post pictures of your hog. Whatever you think is necessary. And thank you guys again for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.
Bye-bye.